need that sports encyclopedia. U.S. Steve Kim. Got Trent in the cut.
What are you?
He's the best.
Yeah.
He's a master motivator.
I'm a master motivator. I ain't no regular ass motivator. I'm a fucking master.
Coaches tried to make practice so hard that the game was less intrusive. Like they coached you that way. Like people think, well, they were just yelling. No, they were trying to put you under stress and put you in under duress so that when you got in the game, you could mentally handle adversity.
If you go through JUCO and you make it out of JUCO, you can make it anywhere.
I respect the hell out of you to see that you're doing what you're doing and still doing what you're doing for real, the way you do it, man. From day one, you had the same enthusiasm. You keep the same enthusiasm, and it's fucking contagious.
In my opinion, I think Shedeur Sanders is the best deep ball in college football. I don't think
Can you just say something nice about Shedeur Sanders?
I love talking ball. It's nice to connect with guys that are like-minded and just are real and genuine.
And I proudly stand up next to you all. God bless America.
You said belt to ass, T-Red. You got the belt around you.
Smitty and Jason Brown.
To the Coach JB Show.
What up, man? It is Truth Telling Thursday. That's what I'm here to do. I'm about to tell the fucking truth. And I'm not on scorched earth today because I am no longer pro player. I'm fucking anti-player as it gets this morning. As 11,000 fucking kids are in the transfer portal. Yes, 11,000. I'm looking at it live, updating on my screen. We're going to dive into it, man. This show is powered by BetUS. Head on over there, BetUS TV. And tell them that we sent you, Coach AB, as the promo code. Man, I've been yelling already this morning. Let me sip a little H2O. Big Smitty will join us here in a second after I go scorched earth on this transfer portal bullshit. And we got a loaded lineup. Media personality, knower of all things, Rob Parker joins us, along with I don't know. You guys may need to do some research on this man right here because I don't believe you realize who will be on the show today. Doug Plank. If you know who it is or know anything, you need to go research who it is because that is who the 4-6 defense, Buddy Ryan, named the 4-6 defense after because he wore number 46. Top 100 Chicago Bear of all time. They say is the top 10 nastiest players to ever play an NFL game. Doug Plank joins us. He'll tell you some stories you probably have never heard. And, of course, our own legend, Steve Kim, will hop on to talk about everything, including this portal that I'm about to dive into right now on the realest show on planet Earth. The transfer portal has over 11,000 athletes enter it as of about 6 minutes ago. Yes, 11,000. Over 6,500 Division I athletes, 5,000 Division II and Division III athletes. And this is fact. Over 1,200, get this, 1,200 multiple transfer athletes have entered the portal as of midnight last night. Over 1,200 multiple transfer athletes. That means this is their second, third, fourth time in the portal. Sometimes 5 or 6 times in the portal. Now, let me get down to brass tacks and understand and get you to understand math. In the hood, we say math. There's 134 D1 schools that play football. 134 Division I schools of these kids. 11,000, okay? Remember that number. For each of these kids to have their dream fulfilled and reach one of those D1 schools that play football, every one of those 134 schools would have to accept 82 kids each. Do the fucking math. Every one of these D1 schools, 134 of them, would have to accept and take 82 kids out of the portal to fulfill the 11,000 that are sitting in there as lame ducks. And we know that ain't happening. We know that each one of those schools may take 1 to 2 players in this mass exodus that we call the transfer portal. So there's going to be fucking a handful of schools that will take a player or two, and 80% of these athletes, if you notice what I'm going to continue to say, athletes, you're not going to hear me ever say student again. 80% of these athletes will sit in this portal. They'll sit here after losing a damn scholarship that they already had their hands on. A scholarship that we used to cherish. Smitty, myself, Weddle, Matt, anyone that comes on this show, Shaun King, we used to cherish the scholarship. And then they'll lose that scholarship. They'll go back now to a Division II, Division III, or now an untimed JUCO. And the rest will sit in the portal and hope in one hand and shit in the other, waiting for someone to get hurt so that they can get that phone call from one of those 134 schools that play football. You see my point here, I hope. This is a mockery, and absolutely it's out of control and not what college football was intended for. It is creating soft asses and hard heads who think a quick bag of money will save their life. In reality, it is setting their life up for failure. The entire Baylor basketball team entered the portal last night. 35 West Virginia Mountaineer football players entered the portal last night after Rich Rodriguez, we call Rich Rod, was named the head coach in December, just took it over. These things tell me a lot, whether you understand it or not. They tell me that these kids are ungrateful as shit. They are fucking clueless and have zero respect for anything other than chasing a bag of money that they think will set them up for life. Rich Rod did amazing things in West Virginia back in the day. He has a track record from Michigan to Arizona and Jacksonville State for being a pretty fucking good coach. Scott Drew won a national championship 3 years ago at Baylor and now lost every single player on his roster. Every single one. This is the lack of investment in the game, and y'all ask us to respect you. This is the lack of investment in the game, and it has become a straight hustle for kids to capture a bag without any investment whatsoever in their respective sport. They could care less about their forefathers. They can't tell you who the best player at their fucking position is. You know why I know that's fact? Because I ask them. And half of these 11,000 kids, or more than half, I guarantee you could not tell you who Eric Dickerson or Lawrence fucking Taylor are. Yet the adults in the room continue to pay and overpay kids who have done absolutely nothing. Nico got a $1.75 million from UCLA yesterday, which I knew about days ago. I wasn't going to go on Twitter and say it. Bailey knows it. Smitty knows it. Steve and Weddle and everyone else know it. I told them 3-4 days ago. UCLA had an opportunity to capture control again and start getting the pace back in the tube. And they folded like a cheap 10. They folded like a cheap 10. Coach Foster folded. Deshaun Foster folded. He needed to make a splash after already paying a quarterback in January $1 million. UCLA had all the leverage in the world to tell Nico, you can play here, son, but we can't pay you shit until you prove to us you can first start and second perform. That's what the fuck you should be paid for. Show me that you're the starter, then I'll give you a certain amount of dollars. Show me that you're going to be the guy and perform, then I'll give you another certain amount of dollars. That would have changed the landscape. Deshaun Foster had the opportunity to change the game and get this shit back under control. But nope. Guess why? Because he's like you. He's like you and I. He feels for the kids. He wants to see these kids get paid just as I do, but not this way. This could have changed it. And now we will once again allow player empowerment to run rampant and continue to ruin quarterback play, competitive nature, and further water down the NFL product, who will continue to run from hard coaching and criticism and continue to want, and not give to earn their money, as we all once had to do in life. I'm all for the kids getting their money, but don't overprice yourself, because the eye in the sky don't lie. Understand this: money isn't for you to retire your fucking parents. Kids out there listening, this is not the money to retire your parents. Your parents worked their entire life to get you to college. It's for you to have a great college life and experience, knowing that there's a bigger payday in the NFL. This is not going to last long, people. And I'll leave you at this to get Smitty in here. I'll leave you with this to start the show. For every Joe Burrow story out there that you all want to go clamor to, for every Jalen Hurts story, remind you and forget that he played already at 3 years at Alabama under Nick Saban before he goes to Oklahoma. For every one of those stories, there's 10,000 kids who transfer their way right out of a college football career, and they enter the real world faster than need be. For every Joe Burrow, there's 10,000 kids who fuck off their scholarship and they get out of the game. Just fucking remember that. And that's fact. But what do I know? Let's dive into it, man. Let me bring my main man in. Far East Sider, 317. LeBron hairline having, Lamar Jackson loving, and AR5 defending. Fox Sports very own, my main man, Big Smitty.
Hey, JB on fire this morning, Andy. Somebody done pissed in this coffee. He is pissed about these transfers right here, boy. And I feel him, and we're going to dive into that even more here. But, hey, man, we live here. What's today? Thursday, Throwback Thursday, man. Young Bailey in the background, man. I just told y'all my co-host is fired up, so you already know it's going to be a loaded show. And, of course, it wouldn't be us. It wouldn't be the Coach JB show with Big Smitty without Isaiah Place, Anthony M., Joe Accord, we back popping. Blue, King David Cartel, Levi L. Ill Bill, Ryan Pettis, Chris Algoon, U224, and Jay Selly.
Wait. You and Joe talked?
We back, man. We back. You know, I slept on it for a couple of days, man. He actually apologized, I think, within, not on the Discord, but within this chat like a day or so ago. I actually saw it. And I took a few deep breaths, drank my water, and I just, moved on, man. Joe Cord been rocking with us for a long time. He's gotten the weather right more times than not. So, hey, as men, you got to grow. So, Joe Cord, shout out to Joe. Let us know what the weather's going to be today in sunny LA. And let me know what the weather's going to be in Indianapolis this weekend. I heard it might be storming again this weekend. So, if you have any insight, let me know.
Nobody cares about Indianapolis.
I'm going to be in that this weekend, so I need to know.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I forgot about that. I need to know about the boat and the yacht on the water.
Out late tonight. Red Eye. Pray for me, JB.
You leave tonight? You leave tonight?
Late tonight, yep. But I'm doing my show. I'm gonna do the show tomorrow. I'm gonna go to my mother-in-law's basement. I'm bringing my laptop, so no worries. I'm not taking time off. Everybody relax. I'm gonna be on East Coast time, 9 a.m., 12 p.m. So that's gonna throw me off, but we're gonna be right here live. We good.
Smitty, we'll dive into this whole thing because I'm kind of hot right now. And the reason I'm hot is not just because something happened. Like I've been talking to 11 Division I coaches overnight. A bunch of my former players who are coaching, former players that are playing. And this is what's going on, and it's a joke. It's become a joke. It's like really a joke. Like this is not college football. It's not what college sports are. And I'm not going to say student anymore before I say athlete. It's just athlete. These are pay-to-play athletes, and we're going to dive into it. But let's dive right into the show and get the quote of the day underway. Brought to you by BetUS TV. Head on over to today. Smitty, this is all for my lead-in. All these quotes and the contrary to belief today I created just for the lead-in that I already had written last night because this was late last night. I'm like, all right, then I've added to it as the night. And the hours have changed, Smitty. The fucking portal numbers have shifted. Even though since my lead-in 6 minutes ago, the numbers have already gone up 146.
Hold on, what?
146 guys have entered the portal since my lead-in 6 minutes ago.
Ain't no way, homie.
It is a way. I have it live right here. I wish I could share it.
146 per 6 minutes. So on average,
146
last numbers, every 6 minutes, at around 200 guys get in the portal.
No. Well, I don't know if you want to do the math. I'm saying 146 kids just entered.
I know. I'm just saying, we round everything up. So I'm just saying, like, about 150 or 200 people every 6 minutes enter the portal.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And first of all, C with no profile picture. You can be tired of the complaining all you want. This is what people wanted? No, it's not. This is what you wanted, bitch. This is what you wanted for your fucking soft pussy kid. This is what you enablers wanted for the entitled. You wanted the entitled kids to get this. I didn't. You got me fucked up. So I'm going to continue to talk about it. It ain't complaining. I give 2 squirts of piss. I got no dog in the fight. Fuck am I complaining about? I'm just giving you the real story on what's going on with the numbers. I can give a fuck about your complaining. I'm not complaining at all. This is what your pussy ass wanted for your pussy ass kids. That's what the fuck it is. But anyway, we're going to dive into that, Smitty. Quote of the day. Some people are like prawns. Go look up what a prawn is, Smitty.
I'm looking right now. I'm still looking right now. Let me see.
Some people are like prawns.
A marine
no guts, no spine, and a head full of shit.
Oh, shoot. A marine crustacean that resembles a large shrimp, many varieties of which are edible. We got a picture. Oh. That's a bar. Oh, that might be top 45 just off the creativity and the energy that you threw with it, homie. I have to look up a prawn. It looked like a shrimp, like a cockroach. But the thing, I guess they ain't got no organs or nothing. Just everything's in their head. That's a bar, homie. That's a bar.
I'm just being honest, man. Some people are like fucking prawns. It's a big shrimp, by the way. And you got no guts, you got no fucking spine, and you got a head full of shit. Contrary to belief, Smitty, this is going right into my lead-in, man. It's my own contrary to belief, but competition happens at the bottom. The people at the top are collaborating.
Ooh.
I don't think you fucking understand how this works. Like, the people at the bottom is where the fucking competition is going on, Smitty. You and I are on the bottom competing to get out of there. The guys on the top are fucking collaborating. They're controlling you like a fucking puppet, homie. I don't understand why people don't grasp the concept of crabs in a bucket.
I'm in the middle,
or any of the things like that. Competition happens down here.
Yeah.
It don't fucking happen up here. They're not competing no more to be at CEO levels. They're fucking collaborating. You guys, I don't think fucking micros, homie.
Ding. Top 10 alert. Top 10 alert. That's a bar, homie.
Man. These motherfuckers. This is why they don't understand. So all the guys that we used to compete with, Smitty, for you to earn a spot at the 3 Tech or at the Shade and have to go through these fucking trials and tribulations and compete, scrap and claw. You didn't win on the football field when you touched the QB in one-on-one. You won in the weight room.
Yep.
You won in classroom.
Yep.
You won in study hall.
Yep.
You won in the meeting rooms.
Yep.
You won in walkthrough.
Yep.
Because if you don't know what the fuck you're doing in walkthrough, how is the coach going to put you in the game?
Yep.
Or at practice in the fucking inside run drill?
Yep.
I don't think people grasp the concept. They all like to see and taste the sausage, but none of them want to see how it's made. None of them. They don't want to see how it's made. They don't want to know if there's rat in there or possum. They don't know. They don't care. The bottom line is competition's down here. We compete at the bottom, homie, to get to that spot. These kids in the portal, Smitty, have no fucking idea what that means anymore. They all think now they're supposed to go straight to the top where the collaboration's happening. The collaboration is happening. They're the NCAA, homie. They've already kept us unpaid for 50, 60, 70 years as players. And guess what? The NCAA is still collaborating young men and women.
Ain't dropped the dime yet, Jason. Ain't dropped the dime yet, homie.
Fucking dime yet on you kids, homie. Not one. And you're just feeding into this whole mediocrity as being the new excellence by transferring and just doing what the NFL, doing what the college football landscape wants you to do. The NCAA non-caring assholes of America want you to do it. They get paid regardless, homie. They could give a fuck less about your degree. Yeah. Because you ain't getting it anyway. So I'm just saying, I don't know, man. Let's dive into this fucking poll question because it's going to lead us right into what's going on in the portal.
Jason hot today. I ain't seen you this way in a minute, homie.
The thumbnails is mass exodus, and that's what it is. It's like everybody jumping off the boat that's turning over on the cruise liner in the middle of the Pacific in the Gulf of America. Gulf of America.
Okay.
I got a shirt that says Gulf of America.
Shout out to Joe Court, man, for starting off the right way, man. Storms all weekend in Indy, low severe chance, but flood watch is active for 3 to 6 inches of rain. My mother was right about that. JB, Cali weather, rain chances today, but great weekend weather. Smitty, thank you, and I apologize for my BS. Now onward and upward. Shout out to Accord, $50.
Joe, you're like a fucking bipolar female.
Oh, wow.
You can't control your fucking emotions like a fucking female. Sometimes, Joe. I like you, Joe, but goddamn.
Everybody saying 50. Everybody follow what Joe just did, though.
Yeah, do what Joe did. Drop $50.
Lock the doors. Lock the doors.
Oh, shut the fuck up and become a member. I really don't give a fuck either way. Here the bottom line is, poll question, Smitty, was Nico over or underpaid by UCLA? Let's start right there and get into that, and then we'll dive into this portal thing because it's going to go full circle, and I'm going to go back to whatever you give me.
So remind me again. Remind me what is the reported number that UCLA
17.
17. 17 is the reported number that he got. I mean,
now let me put it in context. It's under what the daddy and the team wanted.
Right. Listen.
His team. It's well under reported, allegedly.
You asked allegedly.
What they wanted.
Y'all asking the wrong person. I'm a guy who played in the era where all I had was FAFSA money, and then during my last semester, my last year, they did what was those checks we got? Cost of attendance checks came in like my last year at Ball State. That was the first year they had it, so we got a few $100s to put on top of my FAFSA check. So for me, I'm gonna say the man is, if I gotta pick an option, I'm gonna say on the overpaid side. But y'all know me, I never count somebody's money. If they're willing to pay you that, go ahead and take that. I can't get mad at Nico for accepting the money that UCLA is willing to pay him. But if we look at just the facts and what he has done to this point, he had a cool season last year. It was cool. Like, it wasn't bad. It wasn't.
I'm just asking you, like, I get what you're going, but I'm just asking you, do you think the kid was over or underpaid? Just for the kid purposes, don't even worry about.
I'm not down to all that piece of. Okay, my fault. Well, I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna go over if I gotta pick a side. That's the side I'm on. I mean, 1.7. It's just a lot. It's a lot of big numbers being thrown out. And again, I'm not trying to dive too deep into it, but like show me something first though. Like I need to see more before we're throwing out millions of dollars. Is all I'm saying. And even beyond that, I mean, the conversation, like to your point earlier, what you said in your lead in, again, I want kids to get paid. If they're gonna pay it. But it does, when you sit back and look at it, it does sound crazy though that these guys are be able to negotiate millions of dollars though right now. Like it does just like it's just kind of like I could imagine myself at Ball State. Obviously, I went to a small school, but still, even at Ball State, trying to negotiate fucking 200,000. Like, forget a million. Like, just any sort of large number like that. It just sounds crazy, but that's the landscape that we're in now. So, listen, if in the event that they did pay him that 1.7, again, shout out to him, shout out to his camp, shout out to his pops, because obviously they know how to use leverage. They knew what they were doing, and it worked in their favor. You know what I'm saying? So it's a tough conversation to have because, again, I always say this: if I was in this position, JB was in this position, we taking that money every fucking time because these kids, and I don't know how he grew up. It sounds like he grew up solidly, but a lot of these kids grew up like
Nico,
me.
They are some hood Usos.
Well, there you go, hood Usos. Yeah. So a lot of these people that grew up similar to me and JB and Food stamps didn't have much, so you throwing out the number like $1 million. Hell yeah, I'm about to take that. I'm taking that now. As a 31-year-old, I want $1 million. I want 1.7 today. So I can't get mad at an 18-year-old for getting it. You know what I mean? So it's just it's a tough. I don't blame the kids as much. I blame the system in place. That's really my overall like standpoint on this situation. I can't blame the kids for leveraging the system that's here. Like Steve Kim always say, this is pay for play. That's what it is. It's not NIL. So if these athletic directors of these teams and these head coaches are willing to pay 1.5, 1.7, upwards of 2.4, and all this and the third, who am I as the kid to deny it? You know what I'm saying? And again, we keep saying these kids are the ones entering the portal, which they are, but we do know there are definitely a lot of cases where these other, schools and coaches are approaching them, and they're reaching out to them. They're finding ways to DM, whatever the case may be, to let them know, hey, we got an extra 200,000 over here for you. We got extra 500,000 if you come over here. So it's like, these guys, 17, 18, 19-year-old kids, it's easier to be manipulated. So yeah, they're gonna enter the transfer portal, especially if things ain't going perfect where they at. So it's just a tough situation all across the board. We've been saying it for like over a year at this point. It is the wild, wild west, the phrase we all like to use, but it really is that, and it will never change because the NCAA will not step in. Why won't they step in? Because like we keep saying, to this day, they're still not paying a dime. So they're like, shoot, let them figure it out. They wanted money. They wanted to do all this and figure out and get the players paid and, and forget the student athlete piece. All right, hey, have at it. We still sitting back making billions and ain't paying y'all a dime. Like, it's really crazy. It's really like they pipping the whole system, the NCAA.
It's crazy. Madden, I don't know if you know, Madden is Nico's brother. He just transferred out of UCLA.
I saw that.
So like
I didn't get it.
Listen, I don't. Here's the issue, man. Like, I always thought this was the best spot for a kid like him. I thought from the jump, stay home. Like, some kids got to stay home. When you recruit kids and have a relationship with kids as a coach and a recruiter, some kids, like I used to actually tell kids that wanted to come play for me, you should stay in LA. Like, good players. Now, don't get me wrong. If they're a fucking elite guy and a Malik Henry that I needed to get out of LA for a certain reason, I needed Malik out of LA. Some guys need to stay in LA. Only a great recruiter and personnel guy that actually cares for fucking kids would tell them that. I used to tell kids, and I have 1,000 kids that will tell you, man, JB wouldn't even take me because he was like, I wouldn't last. I didn't do it like slap you in the face. I'm telling you straight out, you're not going to come to Independence, Kansas and survive because there's no nightlife, no bitches, no clubs, no mall. Like, you got to understand, I know your upbringing. I know your parents. I know everything about you. The kid with a fucking shoe case and a bag, Smitty, from fucking Colquitt, Georgia.
Yeah.
Come, bring your ass. Like, there's a difference. I don't think people understand. California, Florida kids are very, very different when it comes to recruiting you to a particular place, especially Midwest, a nap town, a Kansas, a Chicago. Different mindset, homie. They've never been in snow, Smitty. They've never been in fucking tornadoes around. Like, I don't think they understand. Now, that's why I only had a handful of California kids. But I would have told Nico, stay your ass in LA. Nico, his family's Nick, as LA get. Like, some cats need to stay in LA. Some cats just need to stay, not fucking Knoxville, homie. My point is this, and I'm ramping on.
Good, you good.
The money has changed the relationship building, and it has changed the fact that we can be honest with kids and tell these kids in the recruiting process as we build a relationship that, hey, dog, I don't know if this is the right fit after 3 years of recruiting you. There's no more 3 years of recruiting, Nico. There's a bag of money that gets transactional. It's transactional. So there's a bag of money that transactions and transitions from hands to hand. And that's it. Thank you. See you in spring. that there's no relationship no more. I don't know if you're a fit for Knoxville if I have no relationship. How do I know you can handle Knoxville, Tennessee, homie, from Long Beach, from the projects?
Right.
How do I know you can handle fucking Knoxville, Nashville, fucking any of these spots, homie? Like, there's no relationship. If it's all money, then there's a reason why there's 11,000 cats in the portal right now. And it's all about money. I get the money thing, but this is not what college football was intended for. Not to pay for your parents' retirement. Our parents set the tone for us, not other way around.
Yeah,
like this ain't to retire your parents. We want to retire our parents as grown men who made it.
Right.
Not premature fucking ejaculation, homie.
But if you're able to do it earlier, though, then you know what I'm saying?
But then you're going back to the devil's root, homie. This is why we're failing, though. I get what you're saying.
It's a lot of these kids, JB. They're not making to NFL. So earlier you made a statement. You know, you're like, we're trying to get NFL money. Well, some of them ain't going to the league. Some of them, their high is right now. Like,
but that's my point, Smitty. That's
who's the Mexican quarterback for Villanova? Not Villanova. Fuck.
Yeah, I get it.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, whatever. He probably not going to NFL, but he can probably make.
But that's my point, Smitty. That's my point.
Or whatever his name is.
But he don't deserve no money though. See, that's why we're ruining the game, homie. The kid Pavia don't deserve $1 million. I'm sorry.
Cool, but I'm saying that's not on the kid though. Is all I'm saying.
But I get it. But that's my point. We're worried about these kids don't even know who the fuck their positional greats are in the sport they play. A little less worried about chasing an investment, and I'm gonna give all to the current team I'm on. They don't even give a fuck about the NFL no more. That's why there's 11,000 in the portal, homie. If they cared about football, they'd be wanting to get better at their specific craft and stay the fuck put and chase the big bag. These cats want instant money right now, and that's why there's 11,000 cats in the portal, and it's a mass exodus, and that's why the fucking sport is being watered down in front of our very eyes. That's why quarterback play is so bad. That's why NFL play is getting worse. A company with the rules and the grown-up decision, all that I agree with you. The bottom line, guess, if there was no portal, guess what? Solve everything.
Literally.
I don't understand why people don't grasp that fact. Like,
it's that simple.
Here, Arch Manning, I'll pay you $6 million. But
you
guess
gotta
what?
pay, though.
You can't leave. You can't fucking leave.
That's all. That's it. It's perfect.
I don't get it.
All the money. They're still doing all that. The problem, like you said, it's not that they're getting money. It's that they get the money and then they need to get more money and they need to get more money and they need to get more. It's like, well, damn. At some point, you got to play football, right? And you move around so much.
I just don't. Here's the thing I don't get, Smitty. Like when I was 17, well before 17, but the Dan Orlovsky take was so bad the other day, and I texted him. He said, Nico's still a baby, still a kid. Well, come on, homie. But I've heard
call these guys your babies, though. You do say that.
My babies.
Babies. Yeah, your babies.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Y'all don't live. They're always my babies.
I said it right, though. I said it right.
They're always my babies. They'll always be my babies. People don't understand. Nick Saban calls his kids babies to this day, homie. He calls Julio Jones his baby.
T. Rich.
T. Rich said it. He told you this. Here's the thing about it. Like, Dan Orlovsky on one show came out and said they're grown folks. They're making grown men decisions. They made a decision in negotiations in an NIL contract. They're grown men now at 18.
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, Nico at 19, 20 is a baby again. And we're blaming them. Like, hold on, homie. Like, that, you gotta miss me with the bullshit. Like, this. Come on, dog. Come on, man. Like, let's get real here. Like, are they grown men, Smitty, who people come on the show and advocate for a union to be developed and employment, for them to be employers, get a 401k and be able to take fucking bereavement pay? Are they grown men or not? Which one are we standing on? Because if they're grown men and they have to check in and clock in on a 9 to 5 every single day, like employees do, then guess what? There ain't no fucking kid in that deal. You got paid money to perform a task. That's what a job or a career is, right?
Yeah.
So I'm confused on how they're babies all of a sudden when the tough gets going and the going gets tough. So when the tough gets going, again, this is the soft society we've created. We now go in protect mode. We go into mommy and daddy mode and protect our kids from getting yelled at and cussed at and criticized. We got to go protect our babies. No, protecting our babies is allowing them to develop tough skin. Like, you think the tiger and the cub, do you know what the lions do with their cubs?
They do.
They send them out. And then when a tiger or a big ass like gorilla or something like that comes after the cub,
yeah,
they come out of the woodwork and they teach the kids how to fucking fend for themselves and how to kill. They don't walk with the babies all over the place. Why are we so fucking protective of our kids in one side, but then on the other side, we fucking allow them to go make decisions, and they're grown men, and then we give them a $200,000 Hellcat, and we fucking give them the decision to go negotiate their own dollars and all this shit. These motherfuckers never even balanced a checkbook, Smitty. And now you're negotiating a fucking 9-figure deal at 17, 18, 19. Anyway, listen, I think Deshaun Foster dropped a big opportunity because he's in a position that, again, not his fault, we created. Win-win now or be fired as a coach.
Yep.
You got to win or you're going to get fired. Now, guess what? I got to go keep up with the Joneses. I got to go get a guy at a place like UCLA who's been horrible in football. I got to go make a splash and get a guy who was on the resume, Smitty. Nico was a playoff participating quarterback last year in the college football playoff. I don't give a fuck what else, however else you want to say.
Single-digit interceptions, 20-something touchdowns. Like, yeah, he had a solid year. Say what you want, how he got there, but you know.
That's what it is. So I'm trying to figure out. I don't know, man. It's just the bottom line is like UCLA had to make a splash. They I'm not saying Deshaun sold his soul. What I'm saying is he had an opportunity to say, hey, dog, I can't pay you nothing. I already paid a guy in January. UCLA paid a quarterback $1 million NIL deal in January. Fact. I already looked it up. So if you guys haven't realized this, they paid a quarterback $1 million. So have you told that guy that Nico's coming in to compete with you and I'm paying him more than you?
He leaving, I think. I think I saw something.
See what I'm saying?
That's why I need to talk to these coaches. Like, are these guys getting $1 million, like a signing bonus, like soon as they sign $1 million? Or are they give you like $200,000 up front and then over time throughout the season you get the rest? Ain't no way they just saying, all right, $1 million, and then they leave. There's no way.
Here's the thing, Smitty. That
don't make sense.
There's two sides. There's two sides. We can't blame the kid for taking money because we all would do it.
Yeah, I do it right now.
The other side is we're blaming the adults for creating the rule. When I was a kid, though, and I learned the difference between right and wrong kind of when I grew hair on my nuts. I'm just going to be honest. I think when you and I got hair on our balls, we knew the difference between right and wrong. We knew if we could hit a girl or not. We knew to not put our hands on a woman, not put our hands on another human, not fucking respect elders. Like I'm confused as to when we have to be told to take every single step. Are we now told the right foot goes in front of the left and we put our right foot on our pant leg first in the morning when we get out of bed? Like, are we babying this so bad that we have to teach every single kid every single fucking step instead of saying, hey, dog, you're going to learn by trial and tribulation, Smitty. I got hit on a skateboard or on a bike or on a fucking whatever the fuck you guys did growing up. We learned, right, when we bloodied our lip or scraped our knees or fucking we tackled and the homie hit his fucking temple on the curb.
Yeah,
and we're like, oh, shit, can't do that no more. Let's go to the grass.
Oopsie.
I didn't need my daddy to come tell me, homie. Like these kids now have to have their fucking mommies and daddies hold their hands and tell them everything.
It's a new time, man. Kids don't play outside no more. A lot of parents don't feel comfortable playing outside, though, because it's crazy out here. So it's just a lot.
Here's my point, though. I would have made a decision, even with the money, to say, all right, give me the money. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you.
But now I'm honored that you gave me this money and had the belief in me to give me this money. I'm going to stay here and fucking work and play my ass off for you.
Yes.
These kids are fucking shitting on the guys that gave them money. They want to jump fucking one bag to another bag to another bag. These cats have no fucking loyalty, as I said yesterday in the quote of the day. They have no parental guidance to tell them, no, my dad would have fucking beat my ass if I came home and took money from a dude and then left.
Yeah.
Like,
didn't honor the money. Didn't honor whatever.
Hold on, motherfucker. You fucking up my cheese now.
Right.
My daddy would have been like, we got a chance. Because my daddy was taking my $1.7 million and putting it away.
Right.
And I would have never got it. I would have never saw it.
To this day, you wouldn't have it.
That's the difference. We got motherfuckers now. Oh, go get you a Hellcat, homie. I know I ain't taught you how to drive yet, but fuck it. Let's go floss. Like, nah, fathers. That's why we got too many daddies, homie. There's not enough fathers. My father would have took my fucking money. My father was taking my financial aid checks and putting them away, homie. Like he was giving me like a fucking ration a week. But guess what I learned? Guess what? Fuck.
Budget.
Fuck yeah, because he told me, he goes, hey, dog, you go in the minus. Guess what happens? You better go get a job and figure out how to get out of the minus because I'm not giving you next money until next week.
Right. So you got to figure it out and hustle.
I learned real fucking quick. I'm just telling you, we got a lot of daddies and homies. John Morant's pop.
My dad would probably stole all my money, though, if I would have did that.
We got a lot of BPS. We got a lot of John Morant pops out here, like who want to be homies and kick it. And we don't have no fathers no more. We got daddies. And I'm just saying, dog. Shout out to your pops. Shout out to my pops. Rest in peace. I just don't get it, man. I just don't think we're creating the right. We're not creating these kids for setup for long success. We're teaching them get you a quick nut, and then bounce and go move on to the next bitch.
Instead of having that sustained one, that build up, boom. That's way better when you stay around and let it last before the climax. These people just climaxing immediately. You know, I
just don't think the main thing's the main thing at all anymore. And we don't. I saw a couple guys that I talked to. I played. Antonio Cromartie's brother played for me.
Okay.
And I talked to Antonio yesterday. I saw he posted out a tweet, and we were both saying the same thing. Like, this isn't to retire your parents. It's to get you a better college experience. That's what you and I wanted, Smitty. We didn't want to go get a job and have to worry about financial aid and money and not getting our monthly check or Pell Grant check or whatever. Yeah. We would have loved to just been able to be cool.
You said the best thing. I'm with you. I'm too loyal. If Ball State would have gave me $1 million, I'm staying. Bro. It don't matter. I'm staying. Not only because of money, but also because, like, maybe I'm different. I mean, you can tell you agree or not, but like once you go to a school and you didn't worked out with your teammate, y'all didn't learn about each other's family, you probably didn't seen their family during spring games, and like I got connected. These are my brothers. Like to this day, I still text my college teammates trying to figure out when we can go back to Ball State and for homecoming and see like you see each other. Like these are my brothers. Like so, like I build a connection. It's not that easy to just leave, regardless of his money, regardless of the situation, regardless of a coaching change. When you build that, like it's a family. Like we didn't been through hell together. So it's like to just leave because somebody gave you $20,000 more or whatever. It's like, yeah, I understand. You got to at least think about it because it's a lot of money. But if the school you at is already paying you a big bag, come on, man. At some point, all right, bro, you got $1 million. You got 1.5. You got 1.7. You got 1.8. If you that good, if you're really a 4-star, 5-star, if you're that good to where they're paying you that amount of money, you should be able to ball out and have a chance at the next level if you're that good. Because, again, these ain't all the players now. A lot of these players ain't getting no 1.5s and 1.7s. And that's the other scary part because you got these huge numbers of players entering the portal, and they're entering the portal off people lying to them, their friends telling them stuff. A lot of y'all ain't even worth 100,000. Y'all ain't worth 50,000. Y'all not worth more than a scholarship. And y'all just
my point is I would have made Nico earn that money because here's my point, and we'll wrap this mass exodus talk up, and we'll get back to it with Steve and Rob Park and all these other guys that are coming on.
The rest of the show. I don't talk about no more to this.
Smitty, like my whole take was like I don't think we realize like the money. Fuck, I forgot what I was going to say about it, but the $100,000. Here's my boy Shav. Just posted this a couple minutes ago.
Read it.
Over 1,000 players, just Division I, entered the football portal. Over 10,000 are in the portal because we both have access, so we know the true number. And college football needs to be fixed. Most players will not find a home. Sad. Kind of what I said already. I'm glad other coaches are posting it because the guys that have access to the portal can see the total number. Baylor's basketball team lost every single one of their roster players yesterday. Like, come on, homie. West Virginia lost 35 players.
I would love to talk to a player on here or players who entered the portal and it didn't work out, meaning that they couldn't find.
Well, here 1,200 multiple transfers entered last night. 1,200 multiple transfers entered last night. Here's a number that I'm trying to get right now, and I'm talking to a couple guys, and here's a number I'm trying to get right now. How many players that played in the NCAA last year went back to their school?
Yeah, you've seen a lot of those. Bama goes to Vandy, Vandy goes to Tennessee, Tennessee back to Bama. I was like, what?
No.
Or you mean Bama, Vandy, Bama? Like
no.
Oh, okay.
I signed with Bama. I'm staying at Bama. How many stayed put?
Oh, just stay. I'm sorry. Just never got you.
Like what I mean by going back is like every year fucking the portal opens.
Yeah, I got you. Yep.
Because there's 77,204 kids that play football in college. 11,000 in the portal is a problem, homie. Like, I don't think people realize, like, the fucking ramifications that has. Like, I don't think, and I forgot my fucking point I wanted to be saying, but the retention of this thing is my issue. And I was going to bring up something, but fucking forgot what I was saying, and hopefully I'll remember it again. But I just don't understand, like, this whole the real world's going to come real fast at these motherfuckers, and I think we're just setting them up for failure so quickly by allowing them to do all this. And that's my point. I just don't understand the portal thing. I don't understand why we're allowing it. I don't understand when we're going to put this shit back in the tube, back in the paste back in the tube, man. I just don't get it.
These kids balling, man. Because I remember, listen, I'm from the hood. I remember I did a good job of like saving a lot of my FAFSA money. So I remember at a point in time in college, I had like, I don't know, it's probably like $12,000 in my account. And at that time, a cat from the hood who literally we fools down, I'm like, hell, I'm fucking, I ain't rich, but I'm cool. I was like, if you owe scholarship and then you just got that money just hanging around, like that's a pretty good money.
Here's what I was gonna say though.
Oh, here we go.
Deshaun Foster had an opportunity to tell these kids no. Because here's my point, and I want to get your take on it real quick. If they tell Nico at UCLA yesterday, I'm not paying you a dime, just hypothetical.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to pay you. We paid a guy $1 million already as our quarterback. That means that's starting quarterback money, I would think, in college football, right? $1 million. I don't give a fuck what. Some people may make 3 or 4, but $1 million at 17, 18, 19 years old is starting quarterback money. Unless I'm totally fucked up in this. This thing is $4 million. I'm really going to lose my shit. $1 million is probably talking about, hey, Nico, I got $1 million guy I already paid in January. So my collective will fire me if I cut him for you right now. But you have no option, son. So come here and start. Earn the money. Show me that you're going to be the starter. And my whole point is this. It
wouldn't work, though.
But here's my point, Smitty. And I just want to ask you real shit because I've been talking to these coaches.
It sounds so good. It sounds great.
No. I want to get your. Well, this is the thing. I'm asking coaches this. D1 guys. Where does Nico go? If you don't take him, if you don't pay him, here's my point. If Dan Lanning's going to get on the phone and do an old school gentleman's agreement and call Josh Heupel and say Nico's shopping, which we used to do, just out of,
cold-blooded
common courtesy. Yeah. Well, no, just out of common courtesy.
I hear you.
So if that's what we're going to do, if that's the precedent we're trying to set, and Dan Lanning's trying to reel this back in and say, let's not take Nico if he's shopping. And if every D1 coach does it, it's like you and I just said, we'll solve it all by not getting the portal going. In the portal. In the fucking portal, we solve it all. Well, this is the kind of the way to go around the NCAA not doing anything. Don't take the kid. Don't pay the kid. And I get it. Listen to what I'm saying, though. If I told Nico and everyone else told him, we're not paying you until you show me that you're that guy and you earn that money, you're going to get half the pace back in the tube instantly. Deshaun Foster had an opportunity yesterday to say, where are you going? And here's my whole point, dog. Is Nico going to sit out and not play, homie? Now, this is coming from 10 D1 coach I talked to last night. Are you going to sit out, son, and not play? No, Smitty. Are you going JUCO, homie? Are you going to go JUCO? No, probably not either. They're not going JUCO either. Here's the thing, Smitty. I still hold the number one thing over you. And I hate to use that term because we're getting over that term. Players need to be paid. I'm with the kids being paid. Not this way, but we already know. I'm with it. But I got the eye in the sky, homie, that never lies. Don't you need the eye in the sky to go to the NFL, Smitty?
Yeah.
Don't you need film, homie? So where are you going to do? What are you going to do, Nico, if I don't pay you any money at all? What if I say, no, I ain't paying you, homie? Where is Nico going, Smitty? Ball State?
Chirp, chirp, baby. Because you know why? And listen, your theory sounds good, but for your theory to work, literally every D1 coach would have to literally come to a meeting, and we all have to
That's all I'm saying.
I'm not crossing the picket line. We're gonna all come together. That's my point. Not realistic. That's not going to happen.
But it should be. But it should be. But I get
everybody
you.
Different mindset, because like one school might be like, shit, okay, I give them 200,000. That ain't too much for us, because if the bar is nothing, if you say I'm gonna give you nothing, well, shit. If I'm Nico, I'm gonna take what I can get now. So if you give me 200,000, well, shit, I ain't got no choice. I'm gonna take that.
But that's my point.
Say no. If that happened, you're right, but this is not gonna happen, homie.
But that's the only way to get the shit reeled back in, because the NCAA is not paying you anyway.
Yeah.
So if you don't understand, and listen, I get here's the hardest part for the coach. The coaches at Ball State and the MAC and the group of 5 guys, they're trying to move up to be a Power 4 coach.
Exactly. So they're trying to win.
So they're going to take Nico.
Yes, that's my point.
They can't pay Nico. But what my point is, if the big school that has the resource says I'm not paying you, then guess what? These other coaches that are at these smaller schools have to figure out now, or these kids have to figure out now, fuck, the only way I'm going to be able to do it is what? Transfer back. I got to go small and back to big to get paid. So it ends up ruining JUCO, because now Ball State will be the JUCO for Tennessee.
Western Michigan, all the
The NCAA hasn't thought about all this. That's why when I said, and everyone's like, oh, it's going to be cool for the untimed JUCO. No, it ain't. It's going to ruin the whole fucking get down. And here's another point real quick. And then this is an hour discussion. It is what it is. Joseph Caldwell, you can fucking eat a dick or get the fuck out. I really don't care. You're not my producer, my daddy, my mama, nobody. You don't give me pussy. You don't give me money. I don't give a fuck what you think, Joseph Caldwell. So get the fuck out. You don't even have a picture, you fucking cunt. So here's the issue I have. Here's the problem I have, Smitty, real quick. Motherfucker, move on. Yeah. Motherfucker, like you run this shit. Bitch made motherfucker. Shut up.
You tired of hearing
fucking pussies? Here's the issue. And these are discussions that need to be had, because see, there's guys like Micro Joseph Caldwell's that can't keep a conversation for more than 30 minutes because he don't understand the ramifications that it's permeating into the societal barbershop banter. And it's permeating into the hood, and it's permeating that, because these cats don't have no fun. These guys, this Joseph Caldwell, all he looks at is the short video of 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's the era we live in.
He can't watch the whole clip.
Short attention span.
He don't know why I said coward on the thumbnail. He just now automatically hates me. And
well, I disagree with still.
Yeah, I know, but I don't care. So here's the thing. Let's dive. The whole conversation, Smitty, needs to be had, because this is the issue we're having right now. We're talking about this because what? Money, money, money. We won't talk about the actual game anymore, the investment in the game to go to the NFL. The main thing is not the main thing no more. The main thing is now money. It's a hustle game for these kids to go grab a bag, or there wouldn't be 11,000 in the portal. Keep it funky, homie. There would not be 11,000 in the portal if it wasn't a hustle game to grab a quick bag. And the adults in the room have fucking failed these kids. We failed these kids. Like, I'm just keeping it real. By the rules that you've stated, by the grown-ups in the room that have allowed this to spiral out of control. Like, the priorities in this thing is just it's ruining it. And I'm just telling you, I don't know how much longer this can last, because eventually it's going to hit it's going to come to a boiling point and hit a wall. And here's the last thing I'll leave you with. High school coaches in these high school 247 sports and these rivals and all these other things are overranking these high school kids. They're overranking the stars. They're giving a fucking 2-star, a 4-star ranking. And what it is now the college is for optical illusion purposes and for the optics for their alum and boosters. They're going to go tell you that we got the 5-star Darnell Smith out of Warren Central. Really, Darnell Smith's a 2-star. The high school and the rivals and everybody bumped him to a 5-star. So that's the one kid that high school gets out. So now the high school can get a transfer in high school.
To
leave Arsenal Tech to come to Warren, I have to get a kid D1.
Right.
So you don't even have a fucking clue.
And I'm a hustler. If I'm a high school player today, I'm down there paying one of those guys at 247 Sports to rank my star higher so I can get the bigger bag at the college.
No, they are doing that. They are paying Carl Reed.
We don't know about Carl, but other people, yeah.
Listen, it's not a shot at Carl Reed. I'm saying Carl knows the deal. Here, I'm paying you to go get my ranking, get my stars up.
Yeah.
So I can get fucking
my Nico bag when I go.
Well, I can get the Arsenal Tech kid to transfer over here to Warren, so I can win at the high school level. That's why 4 times in 4 years you're getting high school kids to transfer. Then I got the 7-on-7 whole aspect to this thing, and we're gonna bring her on. She wants to come on. She just texted me yesterday. She wants to come on the show and talk about this whole NIL thing. She hates it. She hates it. Yeah. And then you got the college transfer portal. So there's no fucking possibility, homie, that there's this many 5-star kids now. Look at the 5-star kids when we were coming up, and now look at how many 5-star kids you see now on all these rivals. This fucking telling me. I saw a kid 5'8", 170 running a 4.4, and they were like 5-star, and I'm like, and then I go on Huddle, and I just looked at this first couple plays, and I'm like, get the fuck. I shut it off. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. This is a mockery, homie. This is a true joke on what we're doing in the game. I'm being real, but anyway, we'll have all day to talk about this. It's already 7:00. I can't believe that I haven't even started in the conversation, really, to be real with you. But this could be a 12-hour show. Like, I could do my own show for this for fucking 8 hours.
Peace.
The shit I know. We do what's happening now?
Yeah, we can. I'm about to leave. You do the whole show by yourself.
What's happening now is fucking crazy, Smitty. I just want you to hear the story.
No, it ain't.
I want you to hear the story.
All right, say it. I'm going to sit back and watch.
More information about the 43-year-old woman from Washington, Illinois, who allegedly SA'd her 16-year-old daughter's 14-year-old boyfriend and got pregnant. If you didn't see my video from yesterday, here's the quick rundown, and then I'll give you
Hold on. First of all, shout out to the girl doing this video because she got straight to it. Like, she got my attention. I mean, she said, okay, have you heard about the Washington, Illinois grown-up woman who took her 16-year-old kid's 14-year-old girlfriend and SA'd her and got a... I'm like, damn.
So let me start it over. So let you all hear this because I think you need to hear this again.
Yeah.
I have more information about the 43-year-old woman from Washington, Illinois, who allegedly SA'd her 16-year-old daughter's 14-year-old boyfriend and got pregnant. If you didn't see my video from yesterday, here's the quick rundown, and then I'll give you the new details. So her name is Robin Polston. She's a cosmetologist and behavioral therapist. Over a year ago, she apparently started telling people that she had this military boyfriend from St. Louis, and he's gone a lot, so they don't really see each other as often as she was.
Hold on, I'm sorry. This picture right here that I'm looking at, this ain't the 43-year-old mother and the 16-year-old boy, little boy, is it? That's a little boy with a 43-year-old woman? Hold me. All right, keep it going. I have to make sure.
And then in August, she began telling people that she was pregnant, and everybody was really happy for her, and nobody really thought anything of it. But then people started noticing that this guy was with her, and she told people it was her military boyfriend's 25-year-old younger brother. He was at the baby shower helping to get things set up before she made her daughter take him back to the house. And apparently she even told some people that she took him with her to the doctor's appointments because the military boyfriend couldn't go. And people noticed that when she was talking about the military boyfriend, she couldn't seem to keep his name straight. She told people his name was Ryan, Brian, and Bryant. The red flags just kept adding up. And then after the maternity photos were posted, someone in the family was like, hold on a second, that person looks awfully familiar to me. So they got in the middle school yearbook and found who it was. Come to find out, it was her daughter's ex-boyfriend. Here he is with her daughter in 8th grade. And here's another one. Now, I covered up their faces since they are minors, but this is 100% the same child. Now, going back to the maternity shoot, a lot of people, including myself, were like, why would the photographer have taken those? And here's why. She commented this on my post yesterday. I was the photographer and was unaware. She told me he was younger and said 25. When he showed up, I thought he looked very young, but I never would have dreamed he was that young. A friend reached out and let me know what was going on, and I immediately contacted the Washington Police Department and sent them all the evidence I had. I have since deleted all pictures from social media and let her know I would not be working for her. So she was lied to and played just like everybody else. But check this out. When she posted the sneak peek on her Facebook, Robin commented and said, I love these so much, Nicole. You did an amazing job and made us both comfortable. He may need a couple more shoots before he's as comfortable as me, but typical guy. This sneak peek is absolutely perfect. Cannot wait to see the rest. Thanks for helping me with my hair too and taking time out of your Sunday for us. It was so fun. The whole fam will be seeing you in a couple weeks when little man arrives. Now, Robin has a sister-in-law who was present during the births of her other 2 children. So the sister-in-law had asked her if she could be present for this one too. And
homie.
It's a lie, homie.
We're journalists, homie, first of all. So don't dare question us on this validity of this story. We're fucking journalists, homie. Number one. Number two, it can't just be white people shit no more, though, because we just saw the BPS side of it when the dude got the mama and the daughter pregnant. So, like, it's both sides now.
But we confirmed that was fake, though, so we good.
Nah, it wasn't fake. It was real.
That one was fake.
We getting just first of all, anyone that calls this girl a predator is you are what rhymes with hey, they, and may.
This is what okay, cool. All right, say that. Whatever. She messing with her daughter's ex-boyfriend though. This is like way sloppier. This ain't like okay. This ain't like I'm in high school. I'm a junior. My teacher bad, and we have
kudos to him, homie.
This is so. That means when he was coming home with your daughter in middle school at 12, the mom was looking like, ooh, in about 2 years, holla at me, man. He was like looking at him like, I can't wait.
Kudos to him, homie. Kudos to that kid, homie.
I know kudos. He got her pregnant. That was dumb. And she keeping the baby.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Not only she's keeping the baby, she's out here taking pictures and promoting it.
Hey, I agree with that, I'm saying, but I'm talking about the whole predatory, the girl, the adult lady's a predator and all that bullshit. D Jones, miss me, homie. Get the fuck out of here. The kid's taking pictures with her. He got his dick wet, homie. He got a little dick wet. He fucked, homie. He fucked. He didn't lay back, Smitty, and fucking, like, he didn't do the conversation we had, homie, where the motherfucker's like this and the bitch fucked him. Come on, homie.
So I actually had a conversation from a woman's perspective on this, and it's not, I think men, when we hear SA, we're thinking like,
Yeah.
forcible.
Yeah,
You got thrown, you got held down, and of course that didn't happen. But there's other forms of SA and just sleeping with somebody who's underage, whether they want to do it or not.
Then you're
the adult in the room. It's still wrong.
I get it, but your kid, the boy, the little boy though is a bitch. Then I'm gonna be funky. The little boy's a bitch because my daddy would be dapping me the fuck up, homie. I'm tired of it. I'm tired. I'm tired of the bullshit. I'm tired of the victim mentality, homie.
You got your girlfriend, mama, pregnant at 16. Good job, Jason. I talked to that.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I'm tired of the victim mentality on these boys. This boy is fucking. Like, he's out here fucking, homie. He not getting pegged. The bitch just locked him down. Get the fuck down, little motherfucker. Like, get the fuck out of here, homie. We gotta stop. We gotta start calling this what it is.
Only one definition of SA.
We gotta start calling it what it is, homie. These boys at 15, Smitty, you and I talked about diving into some pussy at 15, homie.
That's only one definition of SA is all I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
I'm giving you another perspective.
Hey, full circle, though?
Because we ain't got no women on here.
Smitty, they're kids. But at 17, they can negotiate an NIL deal.
I'm going to go lay down for 2 minutes, man. We got to do a quick commercial break before all our guests start coming on.
Hey,
no time for break.
You can negotiate 1.7, but you can't fuck a grown bitch. Get the fuck out of here, you fucking idiots. I can't wait on the other side. We'll be back.
Account posts a girl working with quote unquote route guide who's a South
Coach
Florida trainer.
This. Coach love this.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh, look at it. Oh, hold on. She down there look good. Why y'all playing around?
She look like Travis Hunter.
Hold on. Bullshit. Her feet look kind of good, Steve. Like, all jokes aside.
You're looking at her feet. Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Smitty, can I just tell you something?
It's a good workout.
This is the football version of
Let me line up in front. Can you put her head up? Put her head up running a route, like facing me.
Hold on, real quick, Jason. This is also a kid. I want to make that clear. This is not a grown woman before you do what you're about to do. This is a 14-year-old, 13-year-old kid, 12-year-old kid.
Hey, Smitty, I'm from Compton. Sorry, none won't be none. So here's the go. Let me see. All right, so is this her route?
Yeah.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Throw that motherfucker down. Fuck all that work shit. Give me that. Get the fuck out of here. Why are we showing all this bullshit?
Flag. It's for flag. She's not playing
play. Stop. I'm going to choke slam the fuck out of her.
That's not cute, Jason. She playing flag.
I want to know this, Smitty. Have you ever seen a motherfucker run a route like this?
What's wrong with JV, Steve? Tell me something wrong with him, seriously. Look at him. Look at him. Look at my co-host, Steve. Something's actually wrong with him. Like, we got to go get him checked.
Have you ever seen a route? Hey, Alan, does your whiteout start off running?
What show do our co-host, man?
God damn, homie.
Hey, you almost look like you were doing the Roger Rabbit there.
Hey, have you ever
like you're doing the RoboCop?
I'm not a breast Smitty, but hey, have you ever seen a hot? Have you ever seen a hot?
Out of shape ass.
Hey, have you ever seen a hot? Hey, Steve, you ever seen a hot get into the phase and get into the route?
Why you breathing so hard, homie?
I smoke a cigar.
Oh yeah, I bet.
I mean, Smitty, that's the football version of when hits. Every mediocre boxer look kind of good on mitts. They all look like pound.
This is unbelievable.
I don't,
But my question for y'all: why are we mad that she's just doing some cone drills?
I'm not here. Look at me.
Just some cone, like it ain't. They're not saying she's about to get drafted in the NFL. They're not. She just doing some cone drills. We know flag football is something the NFL is promoting. Agree to disagree. But
hey, by the way,
just doing drills.
DI.
Smitty, about 2 years ago, the NFL Network during the summer showed some international flag football competition, and I just, all right, I'll watch it.
I need water.
And it was the U.S. against Mexico. Man, those Lupes and those Henrietas, they beat the hell out of us. Seriously, the Garcias and the Lopezes. And
flag is a different sport.
Blew us out.
Flag is different than regular football.
Yeah.
Steve, did you hear last week's Mexican word of the day?
You're breathing so hard right now,
No,
Jason. You good?
literally. What's up?
You never heard the last week's Mexican word of the day?
Nuh-uh.
Bailey, do you have the video? Can we show it? I'm surprised you didn't see the Mexican word of the day. Cisco and Ruben gave it to me. I reiterated it. Actually, Cisco did not give it to me. He called me a gringo. But we did a video. Our take.
Short. It might be a short. Yeah, give us 1 second. There's a short, Bailey. You can find on Instagram.
Hey, Steve. So you're telling me that over in Jalisco, they beat us?
Years ago.
Wherever it was. No, it's a couple of years ago, and it was a blowout.
But it was young.
Was a blowout. Yeah, they were young women. I think they were like above 18. It was like an international tournament. They had production. The NFL Network was kind of had the announcers. I was like, wow, they're beating that. It was almost like 35-0. I'm just telling you, it was actually a blowout. I was like, wow.
Because we're not investing in the sport enough with our women because JB was so anti-flag that we're getting embarrassed now.
Take a listen, Steve. This is the Mexican word of the day last week. This is the Mexican's word of the day. My homeboy asked me to give a shout out, so I said, let me do a Mexican word of the day. We say Mexican here in the hood. We don't pronounce anything like with a C or as a Mexican.
Love that.
Smitty, the word is chum.
Chum. Okay.
CHUM.
Chum. Have I heard the word chum?
Chum's like you chum for fit when you fish. You
like
chum.
Fish. Yeah, like this. Yeah, chum. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I know it was a Mexican word. All right. Shout out to chum.
My whole family is illegal. I hope ICE don't catch them. Listen, homie. Can we stop? Please, can we fucking stop? I'm going to show this right here. Homie, these teachers be pursuing their credentials in order to have access to these young kids. I was grown man size at 14. Shit has levels to it, bruh. It ain't a brag to have your teacher pressing you. You're fucking gay. Don't miss me. Pursue me, Miss English teacher, female fucking that looks like old girl. I pursue my motherfucking ass. First of all, Smitty, no offense to your girl that told you all this. I'm not taking advice from a female talking about SA. Sorry. I'm not.
No, it's not advice.
It's
perspective from a woman's perspective.
That's my point.
The way we look at like a man, like me and you, we're totally opposite if it flips. We say if it's a girl 14, 15, as a dude, you say it to be catch. So
right.
From a woman's perspective, they feel the same way it flips, though. What I'm trying to tell you. A woman feels the same way.
Of course, Smitty. That's their mind. That's why they can't coach football.
No,
fuck, homie. Their mentals are different than ours. That's why they're supposed to not.
And there is a certain point, though, Jay, because now we get simply so now we're talking 14. All right, so what? So 13. Like, at what point is it like, all right, bro? At some point, it's like,
but 15 ain't it.
At some point, it's fucking weird.
I'm just telling you. I get it. I get it. 6-year-old boy. Yeah, fucking right. That's sickening. That's nasty. We're not developed. Come on, homie. Let's be real.
I didn't say
15 years old, homie. I'm in full pads banging freshman football.
You wasn't fully developed at 15, homie. You was not your full self at 15, homie.
But go ahead and approach me, female teacher.
I did have a couple teachers.
This is how weak and soft we are. This is how soft-minded we are and how fucking like feminized our men have become. Don't approach me, Miss Teacher. I'm a boy. Because you're fucking weak and soft and your fucking parents haven't told you got a dick and nuts. I'm so fucking tired of this shit.
I
Let's
couple
bring in our
bad
main
games,
man,
though.
Korean Kosel Smitty, our legendary Thursday fucking man of the hour. The co-host of Whitlock's Fearless, 3 Knockdown Rule, Mario Lopez, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Gems, our main man, Nora of all things, Miami Hurricanes, and more. Steve Kim joins us. Steve, happy Thursday.
Gentlemen, I just got the news and a salute to the coach, Lee Corso. I just saw it on Twitter. His last final retirement show will be week 1 of the upcoming season.
August 30th.
Shout out to a great American and a great football guy.
Great coach.
Not so fast, my friend.
Does that open up McAfee, Herb?
He's already there.
But I'm saying, like, was this the final straw before Whitlock, before McAfee and Herb Street bounced and did their own thing and fucking
maybe the show will never be the same without him. And I get it. The last few years, it kind of looked like
he's at
Muhammad Ali against Trevor Burbick. But I'll never forget Lee Corso. By the way, have you ever saw highlights of the scooter? Corso could play.
Oh yeah, he could play, and he was a fucking good coach. By the way, great coach.
Look, he went to bowl games at Indiana, and that's not an easy job.
No, he was a hell of a coach at Indiana.
The funniest line I've ever heard from Corso was the week 1 of '96. Me and my buddies were watching games, and Purdue was playing. And this is the year after Mike Allstott had graduated. And the year before, Purdue kept losing these high-scoring games, even though Allstott would run rampant on everybody. But they'd always lose like 38-35, 42-43, or whatever. So the opening game, week 1, Michigan State has this young running back named Cedric Irvin, South Florida legend, and he had like 5 touchdowns in the first half, and it was 35-0. So they go to the halftime, and Lee Corso goes, I just want to say one thing. They're like, yeah, coach. The only thing worse than the Purdue defense of last year is the Purdue defense of this year. I mean, we couldn't stop. He had lines like that all the time. So the younger generation never got to see the best of the Sunshine Scooter. But again, a shout out and a salute to the great Lee Corso.
No doubt. Shout out. Legend. It pained me to watch him though, man.
I know. It was tough.
Like all the respect I have for the man, it hurts me to see the guy going out like that. I wish and I don't wish, because you know what? One side of me is like, fuck it, go until the wheels fall off and you've earned it. The other side of me is like, I don't want to see you go out like this. Like, let me see you like go out when I remembered you at your high. You know what I mean?
You know what the reality is, though? That job probably gave him a reason to live.
To live, no doubt.
A purpose. Retirement has killed more people than work. Heard that from a very good, wise friend of mine named Bob Case years ago.
It's true.
You know, look, Joe Paterno died just several months after his retirement. Bear Bryant literally died a month after he retired because they said, what killed him? He didn't have spring ball to look forward to.
That's the one thing about social media. I think the one thing about social media that's keeping, even though they're much younger in the Sabans and the Grudens of the world, social media has kept these guys active though, and I'll give that to it. Like that's the one thing, because I know 10 plus coaches, Steve, to your point, that either was pushed out for a false allegation, or especially when you get put out for a false allegation and it weighs on your bearing for all the good you've done for your whole career. A good friend of mine, Robert Taylor, who coached Chad Johnson, Steve Smith.
Oh, Santa Monica.
He got fired, fucking dies 2 months later. You know what I'm saying? He was healthy as fuck, like no issue. Like one of the greatest, he holds a Black Coaches Symposium every year. He had major big-time coaches speak. He's coached Isaac Bruce, fucking Steve Smith, Chad Johnson, like Al Trickey. He's coached all these guys and dies because they fucking forced him out. And it's like, I've seen it too many times. But Steve, real quick, right off the gate, man, I did a whole hour rant because of this portal thing. Is just out of control. It's a mass exodus. I've talked to 10 Division I coaches and other players of mine that are coaching now. Also, there's right now I got access. I have it up on my computer. It's 11,468 total. I'm just going to call them athletes, not students, but athletes. The entire Baylor basketball team entered the portal yesterday. The 35 West Virginia Mountaineers after Rich Rod. The point I try to make with Smitty is don't ask for my respect if you don't even have the common courtesy to stick around when a brand new coach who's also been there and is a legend at that university took the job back over to help you, and you go enter the portal in the mass exodus format.
Yeah. They didn't recruit me. That's a little different. I
get it. But Smitty, you and I back in the day, if Bobby Bowden took over Ball State, you're like, fuck, I'm staying here. You know what I'm saying? That's what these kids, no investment, homie.
But Coach, we don't know how many of those 34 West Virginia former Mountaineers were shoved or pushed out. I get it. Most first-year coaches now are understanding you might as well flip that roster as quick as possible.
Like Fran Brown said, right? If you're going to leave, I can also tell you to leave.
But let me tie this in. And I know Nico Iamaleava is the face of NIL for this year. But I think that's a very rare case of the family and agents overplaying their hand. Because I don't think that's the everyday normal situation. I'm going to tie this into a young man that just transferred and hit the portal from Miami, Nikar, wide receiver. He was a top 100 player. And he had 8 yards receiving last year in mop-up duty. People liked him. And then he announced yesterday, the reality is he got passed up by younger players, Malachi Toney being one of them, and Josh Moore. And I asked around the people that know more than I do that I consider trusted sources like Gio Milian. And he basically said, Steve, here's the problem. He wasn't really an outside receiver, and he's not a slot. And and if you want to make him a flanker, a true flanker, Miami likes those guys a little bit taller. And here's the kicker. And I was told this by a couple people. He got paid a good deal of NIL. And it wasn't just a kid quitting on a program. I have no ill will towards Nikar. I don't think he quit. I think he's a victim of today's culture that in the past, and Smitty, you were probably one of the last generation to go through this, that if you were a player that was not producing and pulling his end of the weight, the coaches in their meeting would say, well, here's the thing about Smitty. He's not pulling his weight. Boy, I'd like to have that scholarship. But they'd say, you know what? We're going to give this kid time. Maybe he'll grow up. Here's the problem now, right off the bat. Now they're saying, man, we put in how much money to this kid? Man, that money could be used elsewhere because with compensation comes expectation. And I hope the kids realize that. And Coach, to your point, if you made NIL illegal for incoming freshmen, a kid like Nikar may have been given more time to develop, and he may have not felt the pressure. I think that's bad. I think Nikar will end up being a pretty good football player somewhere. But again, my understanding is he got passed up by some bright young players that are going to play immediately starting on Labor Day Sunday night.
I would like to know. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, Coach.
No, the other thing I would like to know, though, are those kids replacing him that he got passed by portal kids or high school kids? Incoming.
Malachi Toney actually reclassified. He should be a senior in high school, and he's going to be a really good player. And then Joshua Moore, who's a 6'3", 6'4", big-bodied outside guy that could stretch the field. So it's not like, and by the way, Miami is going to go in the portal for another wide receiver.
Well, here's my point. So here's some stats that you might want to see right here. Here's the data that you might want to see. There's 1,200 as of midnight last night. 1,200. Just remember this number. 1,200 multiple transfers has entered.
Yes.
There's 11,000 transfer portal kids, but 1,200 of those kids, this is their second, third, fourth time in this portal. So there's 1,200 of those, number one. So I'm curious to know, like, did that kid get passed by because, by a kid that was already played somewhere Division I wise? Number one. Number two,
no.
It's a double-edged sword, Steve, what you're saying, and I agree. Here's the double-edged side of it. When we, like, my point is this, like, people defend, oh, well, that was coming from West Virginia. Rich Rod was making cuts. See, Xavier McDaniel came on the show Friday. And no, this is just the point. Xavier McDaniel came on the X-Men, and he pointed out something very interesting and it made me realize, and I don't know if Smitty might have been one of the last generations to go through it, made me realize, and I was like, fuck, you're right. We were on year-to-year scholarships back in the day. And that's why he was giving me a perspective of, man, I think the kids should be able to transfer even back then because we were on year-to-year, and we had to earn that year every year. Well, now though, Steve, to your point, you're on a 10-semester scholarship 5 years. So you have to do something against whatever criteria is on that scholarship to lose that scholarship. The coach can't just cut you academically. You can still earn that scholarship in the classroom.
Well,
now we
but
can cut
coach,
you on the football field, though. No, I'm saying
the reality
now
is that
I cut
NIL
you.
deal probably supersedes everything. And I said this for a while.
That's my point.
Let's make the NILs and the original letters of intent. Let's make a multi-year deals. Let's keep everyone on campus for 2 seasons and let's see if it works out. Nikar's a good athlete, but he got banged up a little bit, and it is such a machinery now. This is what we're going to miss. And I was just thinking about the history of Miami football. I remember in the late 80s when I first became a fan as a young man in Montebello, the Harvard of East LA, that great high school. But anyway, we had guys after Michael Irvin, Brett Perriman, and Brian Blades. All went on to 10-year careers. One of them's a Hall of Famer. They all had 1,000-yard seasons in the National Football League. So young men back then like Dale Dawkins, who I've met, and Andre Brown, they did not play till their 4th and 5th years. They still made the league. And I keep thinking to myself, nowadays, those guys would just transfer after their 2nd or 3rd year. Either the coach would say, hey, you're not progressing. Hey, your NIL deals a lot. Can you take a haircut? If not, you got to get out of here. Or the kid would just get impatient, right? So that's going to be missing. The other thing is, there are certain players that kind of know, like, I've made it as far as I could. I went to a Division I school. I got a $350,000 education. I'm on my track to my degree. And Miami in 2017 had that magical 10-0 run. And the most memorable game I'll never forget was Florida State. We hadn't beaten them in about 50 years. And so we're down late, and I'm thinking, oh, my God, we're going to lose to the 8th straight time. And all of our really good receivers like Almon Richards are hurt. They're banged up. And we're down to like our 8th guy. Then all of a sudden, Malik Rozier, with about 20 seconds to go, lofts it into the corner near the pylon. And this big guy, who I had never seen or barely, makes this miraculous catch. He wins the game. And we're all like, Darrell Langham? Darrell, he had been there 5 years, had never made a play. And then the next week, we played Georgia Tech. I went to this game. It was at Hard Rock. Miami's losing with about 40 seconds to go. It's 4th and 14, and we're like, oh, God, there goes the season now. Rozier throws another fade. The defensive back knocks the ball up in the air, and then Langham catches it. I call it the immaculate deflection. A total miraculous lucky play. We win the game. Smitty, Langham never made another play in his life, but to this day, we say Darrell Langham. What a hurricane.
Legend.
Made 2 plays his whole life, but he stuck around. Those guys aren't going to be the program guys that just love being Hurricanes. They graduate. They're part of the fabric of the community and the school. That's over too. Yep. That's over too. And that's a shame because someone said it best on a message board, Kane's Insight. Shout out to D Money. Someone said nowadays rooting for a college team, it's not like rooting for the Lakers or the Celtics of the past or Georgetown or UNLV of the 80s. It's like you're rooting for a bunch of guys at the YMCA who change teams every game. Yeah, I don't grow up with these guys anymore. It's different. It is what it is.
Like Smitty and I got put off. Smitty and I team, we got put off, and then we got put on different teams.
Coach, you
can't hear me?
Coach, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't hear you. Hold on.
Uh-oh. Well, while he's looking at that, I'll keep talking though.
Hey, Smitty, to his point, not to cut you off, to his point, like, do you think, like, this is like a double-edged sword, though? I'm confused as to what, like, we started this whole thing. Like, I don't know who. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not blaming the kid. I'm not going to blame the coach. Wherever it started, Smitty, there's got to be there's a better way, though. Like, don't tell me there's not. The NCAA continues to dismiss the fact that this is spiraled out of control now because coaches have to keep up with the Joneses and go get these players and or cut players because they got to keep up with the Joneses or be fired, like we said earlier.
We got too many smart people in the room, though, for them to not have a better system. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, y'all. Let's cut the BS. All these coaches, all these administrators, we got so many brains in here, too many people saying the same thing, so many people complaining for this system to not be fixed. This is not good for anybody. I don't think it's even good for the teams with all the money because it's just you're spending too much because if I'm Ohio State, I gotta try to outbid Michigan. And Michigan it's like a bid system, and it's like it's unnecessary, you know.
Yeah. So guys, the issue is the continuity that we once liked, I don't think we understood how much we liked it, is gone.
Yeah,
it's gone. You literally have a new football team every semester.
I didn't start at Ball State to my junior season. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to. I didn't redshirt. I played a little bit, but
didn't Barry Sanders sit?
He was people forget that he was an All-American kick returner in '87 behind Thurman Thomas.
Yeah.
Barry Switzer had one of the great lines ever. Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, the Bedlam. And in the week of the game, he basically said, now, guys, Thurman Thomas is great. Don't get him hurt. Because you don't want to face that backup. They kind of knew.
Like, that's what we used to have, though. Like, I don't understand. T. Rich has come on here and talked about the depth that they had at Bama. I talked to
Mark Ingram and
Tony Casillas the other day. It was playing D tackle and then went over to O-line and won the fucking Outland. Like he's like like I don't think we don't have any type of competitive edge anymore. We all get, and we never have to fucking earn it anymore. And we've ruined it. I want to get your take on this because this is a wideout that you guys at Miami could be in the market for. But Fran Brown's come out, and I'm liking Fran a little more and more every day. Met him a few times years ago as an assistant. He came out and said, I don't know if there's a video or not, but he came out and said, basically, you're going to make $2 million at wide receiver. That's the homie at Ohio State. I'm not giving no wide receiver $2 million in college. I agree with him 100%. And I think to Nico's point to start the show, are you overpaying these guys now? And when are we going to just say, let's take the leverage back, Steve? Like, I'm stopping this noise. And I'm just saying.
Yeah. And Fran Brown, I would say, is a pro players coach. He's not all that old school. He wants the players to get paid. Yeah. He has programs that are going to help these kids the rest of their lives. I'm with you on that. And Miami has been linked. It's been rumored that we're in, I don't say discussions, but they are going to kick the tires because he has a lot of Restrepo-like qualities with more athletic upside. But that is the game, and we need to get over this, guys. This is no longer collegiate or amateur athletics. Let's start going with multi-year contracts and make them binding on both ends.
Steve, let's listen to Fran. Let's hear what he said real quick.
Respect to everybody in the country, to every wide receiver, to everybody that's doing all this stuff. Like, if you're going to make $2 million at wide receiver, that's to blow a homie over at Ohio State. Ain't nobody else making that money. Giving a wide receiver no $2 million, man, in college. Nah, that ain't me. I ain't doing that. I can't do it. Unless they tell me that we get a chance to have Travis Hunter, he could come back to college and he could come here and play for us, then he going to get some of my check. But they ain't paying nobody $2,000 this year. Not to me.
$2,000. I like Fred, man.
Hey, that's why you got 11, but that's why you have 11,000 in the portal right now. And Steve, there's only 77,000 football playing Jimmys and Joes in the country, and that's all levels: D1, D2, NAI, Division I. Like, there's a huge percentage of cats in the portal right now. 11,000 is a monster.
Yeah, I mean, I don't look. Pena's probably thinking Kyle McCord's off to the next level. My leverage is high. My production is high. I got to cash in. Unfortunately, that is the business, and I know people hate to hear this. It is time for the players to have a CBA, and the universities that really want to play big-time college football, and there's probably about, 50 or 60 that really do, they have to work together with them to have a system that is more sustainable. And people can say what they want about coaches getting paid. Yeah, they get paid. That's the market. But no coach should be expected to have to re-recruit 100 guys every single year. That's ridiculous.
But that whole take with these guys that defend the player over the coach is fucking bullshit too. The coach got to pay money back if he leaves, though. Like, he has a contract and he has to pay back monies or get sued or not be able to coach at the next place. He's not leaving one school for another unless he has to pay that money back. Kids ain't paying no money back. Like, this is out of control. I don't think people understand that there's a huge discrepancy in what the grown man has to do versus this kid. Yeah. This kid is getting away with listen, man, I'm not with kids no more. I'm anti-kid in this whole thing right now because at the end of the day, we knew what right from wrong was at 17, and they want us to say, respect us, Steve, respect us. I'm grown man. I'm not respecting shit these kids do anymore. Because if for you to leave Fran Brown, who can't be more of a player's coach, who can't be more on your side, who can't be more, you have zero fucking respect for anything. And I don't care about the money anymore. You're not that good. You're not going to make it very long. You're trying to get a quick bag to suffice 2 years of time when really the NFL should be your lifelong goal. And this is what we've created. We've taken that away from these kids. I'm just telling you.
If Trevor Pena had to sit out a season after transferring,
he wouldn't leave.
You wouldn't even think about it.
Wouldn't think about it. Exactly.
So the NCAA needs to go out and say, hey, guys, we tried it your way without us. It's like the defund the police movement. How'd that work out?
Steve, I got to bring
NCAA, come back in here, start enforcing some rules. Stop. No team's on probation, but when it comes to this stuff, just put up that rule.
Nick Saban said it right. Should have got rid of the NCAA. Should have got rid of them. Like NCAA, the college football should have just broke off when Nick Saban said to do it 3-4 years ago. Like that's what I've been saying for 5 years. Break away from the NCAA. They are not doing anything for you, but other than suspending you and keeping guys from fucking going places. Here's the thing, Steve. I'm gonna go full circle back to Nico real quick. Before Smitty jumps back in, I gotta ask you, Nico. This whole Nico situation is kind of. I'm not going to say unfair or unjust. Like, you got what you got, media-wise, an outlie and all the outcry and everybody that's bitching and moaning and bashing him. Here's the issue, though. It's the timing of it, right? Because it's the hypocrisy of it, Steve. I don't remember, Smitty, the fucking kid who was 4-0 at UNLV who left his team high and dry during the fucking season take this much heat. I'm going to be real. I didn't see that UNLV kid take this much heat.
Oh, I thought he took some heat, Matthew.
Yeah, he did.
He pissed me. I remember we all was talking about
it ain't like this. It ain't like this.
His name ain't as big. That's the only reason I would say. The bigger your name are, the more stars you got, the more attention you're going to probably
Coach,
get.
did Matthew Sluka ever get millions of dollars already beforehand? I mean,
no, and that's my thing. I get all of it. What I'm
and then they want to say it's the offense. Really?
No,
so if it's the offense, why'd you ask for more money to begin with?
It's not the offense. I'm not gonna lie for my boy either. Like, it's not the offense because you're going to UCLA, and the last time I checked, the offensive coordinator there has never play called.
Sunseri's a bright young guy, but you look at UCLA. They used to be a nationally respected program. That is now just a school that happens to have a football team. It's a damn shame. And maybe it fits Nico because I'm going to say this again. When you play at Neyland Stadium, it's an unbelievable scene that whole weekend. You go to UCLA, as I like to say, you could throw hand grenades at certain sections of the Rose Bowl. Nobody would get hurt.
Steve, I had to petition. Okay, I had to petition the NCAA when I had a kid from Alabama transfer to Indy. And then for him to go back to, let's say, Vanderbilt or Tennessee, like Emmett Gooden, there was a 2-year sit-out. So the SEC had one of the most stringent rules in the country. You couldn't go JUCO and go back to the SEC unless you set out 2 years. So I had to petition. You know what that did, though? Nick Saban created that rule, and you know what it did, though? It created a competitive balance in this football space to where people aren't realizing what it's done. If you look at it now, let's just say the conferences made that rule again, and you kept it how it is. But the conferences, so the Pac-12 or whatever it is now, you couldn't go to that team if you leave. The SEC, if you leave Alabama, you can't go to Tennessee or anyone in that conference. What it would do is the conferences would stop taking the mediocre player, and it would stop and it would eliminate the transfer portal because a Ball State kid, guess where he's not going? He's not good enough to go to fucking Alabama. Sorry. But now we're taking everybody because there's 11,000 kids in the portal, and they all think they're worthy of going to Alabama. They're not. It's a false sense of star rankings. Like we're ranking these kids too high, as many as I talk about, on 247, all this bullshit tabloids. These kids ain't 5-star kids. I've never seen this many 5-star kids ever in my life. When I looked it up today, I said, holy fuck. And then I pull up the kid's film, Steve. He's 5'8", 170, runs 4'5", and he's a 5-star.
I don't think that many 5'8", 4'7"
You better be fucking Dante Hall. You better be Dante Hall. You better be Dante Hall or fucking somebody like that. There ain't no 5'8", 170 kids out here ripping it like that. And then I turned the film on, Steve. I'm like, oh, fuck, I wouldn't recruit him.
Guys, I have a question, and I was thinking about this last night because I was going through some of the Tennessee games last year. If you didn't know Nico Iamaleava was a 5-star top 10 player, let's say you did not have that knowledge, you didn't really know who he was, and you just happened to watch some Tennessee games last year, and all of a sudden he hit the open market, not knowing anything about his high school career or accolades or even the NIL he got, would there be this perception that he's this unbelievable get for UCLA?
No, I think you probably be like, oh, he's cool. He's cool. Like, he's a cool quarterback. Like, he's decent. He's, based upon that 1 year.
This is where when people like TJ Houshmandzadeh and some other people are talking about, well, Heupel doesn't develop quarterbacks for the National Football League. Is not pro ready. Okay, fine. I look at it the other way. If you can't thrive in that system, that might be an indictment on you.
Here's the thing I gotta say. I told Nico
TJ on tomorrow, man, so you can talk about it. I'm trying to hit him up.
Yeah, get him on. I try to tell Nico and his pops stay in LA from the jump. I would have never left LA. Nico and Nick and the family and Madden, they're LA kids. They're inner city hood project baby.
Madden was committed to UCLA, and then he just jumped ship and went to Little Rock.
Yep. And that's my point, though. Like, if there was relationship building, Steve, like it used to be, and I'm not saying no change. I get change is going to be evident. It's going to happen. But if I was recruiting Nico, I would have told him to stay in LA because I knew the kid, because I recruited him for 3 or 4 years. I had a relationship with the kid. Nowadays, when it comes straight to money, there's no relationship, and I don't give a fuck about you or your upbringing. I'm giving you the money. You accepted. You'll be here in spring.
Like, you're just a number on a spreadsheet.
Yeah,
really
man.
Are. They look at you
and you're gone.
And on one side of the ledger, they're going to say, God, this kid's eating up $500,000 of our collective. Let me look at his stats. Bring him in.
So Nico, in theory, Steve, you got me at this in theory, Smitty. Nico can leave in the summer and transfer to USC. Think about it.
In theory,
Think about the fucking joke this is create. Like, this is a joke, bro. Like, I'm just telling you, this is a whole completely out of this is a whole joke, man. I'm just telling you.
Question: do you think Deshaun Foster had nothing to lose here, that he needed to take this risk? Because that's what I think.
Yeah. I said he had to make a splash. I told Smitty he had to make a splash. Because Deshaun Foster has to keep up with the Joneses, because his name is not as a coaching name. He's not Dion. He has to keep up with the Joneses, in my opinion, as a former great player. I recruited him even at a high school, legend, Southern California kid. He has to keep up with the Joneses or he's fired, though. Like, he had to make a splash. They had a decent season. Steve, you brought it up last year because we're Bruins at heart. Let's be honest.
They did good. The last 8 weeks of the year, I thought UCLA actually played some tough football. And they got to bring that guy back. Joe Bruin, that guy.
That's for you, Steve.
What a great-looking logo. He's friendly, but he's muscular. That's why the University of Caucasians lost among Asians. I mean, look at that. I mean, the bear, like, you don't want to with him, but he's also a friendly guy. But people forget,
like me,
during this era of that UCLA logo, people do not understand what UCLA really meant at one time nationally. Kenny Easley is from Virginia Beach, Hall of Famer. Troy Aikman, really Cerritos, but, he's Oklahoma, Henrietta. Jonathan Ogden is out of Washington, D.C. Flipper Anderson is out, I think, Trenton, New Jersey. Kevin Williams was the number 1 player in 1988 or 89, Spring, Texas. Charles Arbuckle, top 10 player back in
Carolina.
85 or 86, was from Houston, Texas.
Good friend of mine. Skip Hicks, Texas.
And people don't understand. They used to really, I would say, from about 85 to about 91 or 92, they had about as much talent as the Florida schools. Carnell Lake, Eric Turner, Marcus Turner, Darrell Henley, Gaston Green, They had a real football.
Eric
program.
Ball, dual-headed Heisman. Eric Ball,
Ypsilanti, Michigan.
Yeah, they had too many.
They used to be a program. A program.
They had more guys in the NFL. UCLA had more guys in the NFL that were performing at a high level than any other D1 school in America for like 8 years. I'm saying they had dudes, man. They had dudes.
If I told kids, one time, young man, they'd be like, "Yeah, do you know that UCLA actually had an 8 or 9 game winning streak against USC in football?" No one would believe me.
9 years in a row. 9 years in a row. That was the Wayne Cook era. That was the Wayne Cook, Cade McNown. Yeah.
Look at y'all reminiscing. That was a long time ago, fellas. A long time ago.
Maybe, you know what? It should never change. I'm going to be honest. You're in fucking LA, dog. I'm going to be real with you. I don't give a fuck if you're UCLA or USC. Both of those football teams and basketball teams and fucking everything else should be dominant. I don't care. Even in the NIL era. You're in LA, Hollywood?
I agree.
Speaking of which, Lincoln Riley's getting serious on the recruiting trail.
Is he?
He's kind of locking down LA a little bit.
He got my Uso's son from Mater Dei.
Oh,
they're getting some big Smitty. They're getting some big-bodied bubbas up front, and I'm like, okay, Lincoln, you are kind of acting like a serious football coach. You're not just doing all those X's and O's that fancy. He's actually getting big-bodied guys up front, some war daddies.
What are you predicting?
Pretty good.
Season playoffs? What are you saying?
He's still shitty. Let's dive into
better offensive mind than you've ever been, JB.
No, he's not. And number two, he can't manage. No, it's not true. And he can't manage it and get on the board any day if he wants to get on the board.
And he's more of a QB whisperer than you. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Will I develop him? Will I develop him? He inherits them. There's a huge difference. So anyway, actually, I got more guys in the NFL that I developed than he does. But anyway, I don't even want to. We don't even go there. We don't even go there. Factor cap.
We're going to dive into tomorrow. We're going to dive into that.
Factor cap.
The man had like 4 Heismans underneath him. All right, let's keep going on, keep rolling.
Next topic, Smitty.
I don't know what it is. We've been all over the place. I don't know what's the next topic, but we'll see where we're at here.
Steve, Bears rookie quarterback, your boy Caleb Williams is on the new cover.
That selfie. Oh my God.
Is he clean, Steve?
Is he a serious guy, Steve? In your words, is he a serious guy?
Jim McMahon would never. That's all I'm gonna say. He's not the punky QB known as McMahon. Man.
With the moves the Bears have made, though, bringing in all
no excuses,
bringing in exactly no excuses. All right, what do you envision? Like, obviously, it's this off season. Do you think Caleb Williams will have like a solid year or two? I actually think he will. Like, all jokes aside, I don't see him having a bad year too. I really don't see it.
Smitty, can he play under center at all? Because, and again, I don't know how much Ben Johnson's going to tailor this towards his quarterback, which he should do.
You're right.
But a lot of what Ben Johnson did that was successful was old school under center football, power run game, and everything off of play action. And one thing Goff does well at a very elite level, intermediate throws. And he can really operate in a way that a lot of quarterbacks cannot. Most quarterbacks only can really go out of a shotgun type of spread, right?
Right.
Goff could actually play old school football. 3, 5, 7-step drops, play action.
He was developed too to do it.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's Caleb Williams' game, is getting the ball off on time with precision consistently. That's going to be the key, Smitty.
Hey, we had Mike Martz on who said that he said that Ben will not tolerate or go with the flow or bow down. He said that he will not accept mediocrity out of Caleb Williams. He said if he can't get under center and perform the fucking task at hand, he won't play. If he can't perform NFL quarterback,
chew him out.
He said it. But that's also why I don't think he took the job last year, because I don't think he wanted to draft the kid. I'm be honest. He had to. This is a real thing, and I talked to the coaches. You can sit out a year or so and say, "Oh, I'm not ready. I'm going to stay in Detroit," like he did. And you and I praised him, Steve, on this show last year when he stuck around another year and learned how to be a head coach. Eventually, though, the NFL will tell you to get fucked if you don't jump and make that jump and go be the head coach that they're giving you the opportunity to be, because the circle will get smaller and smaller and smaller for the opportunities to go be a head coach. So I believe he had to take the job this year. But I do not believe he wants or wanted this guy to be his guy. I'm just going to be honest.
Well, the question that I have for Ben, and this is for every hotshot assistant that gets elevated. Can you now set a culture? I thought that's one of the greatest strengths of Dan Campbell. He set a real culture that everybody lived by, they adhered to it, and they had an identity. We're going to see, because that probably is one of the tougher things. You could be the whiz kid, you could be the mastermind on one side of the ball. Now you're in charge of every single room. And what is the art of leadership? It's delegation. It is delegation. And Mike Martz said something to you that was really interesting, that interview. He said, being a head coach and calling plays, that's tough.
Yep, get rid of it.
It's tough. And by the way, Tony Casillas, great interview. I love what he said about the great James William Jimmy Johnson. Tony, you're welcome. He saved your career in life. You're welcome. This is what we do, Hurricane football. This is what Jimmy does. How about them Cowboys? God, was great. Because Tony Casillas, I don't want to say he was a bust, but as the number 3 pick in 85 or 86.
Number 2, I believe. Number 2.
Yeah, or 87 draft. He was a disappointment. He was very talented. He was very good. But he will tell you his experience in Atlanta was not good. And the other part of the interview that made me laugh, yeah, him and Bosworth never liked each other.
Oh, yeah. He got, you can tell as soon as JD mentioned that name, he kind of got like.
He's like, orale. Orale, chingon. Yeah, him and Bosworth never saw eye to eye. Bosworth in his book,
JB didn't know that,
which was co-written by Rick Riley. It's a funny book.
I knew him every day.
And this is when they really didn't like each other. Bosworth flat out said, here's the reality about Casillas. His class nearly got Switzer fired. My recruiting class saved his job. I was like, oh, God.
Hey, I've been talking to him literally every day because we got a lot in common. You would love him. He talk a lot. He don't like that motherfucker. I'm gonna tell you right now.
I mean, I thought they had patched things up because Bosworth went back to Oklahoma. He's made amends. He's apologized because in his book, he said some things where when that book came out, Bosworth was a marked man. He could not go there. And now when he goes there, he's a hero. He's kind of softened his image. He's the sheriff on the Dr. Pepper commercials, and everyone loves him. But he had to kind of say, hey, my mea culpa, I'm sorry. But obviously, Tony Casillas, not having it. Not having it.
Hey, Steve, that's the point that we've been talking privately, though. Think about this. He's like, dog, myself or Bosworth or somebody else would have transferred then. Like, if they were allowed to do what they do now and have this mindset, you know how many teams would have been blown up back then were great? That were great?
Look, those Oklahoma teams,
we would have never saw.
Never.
And I think Casillas was on 2 of them. Because he talked about the great Jamel Holloway. Jamel Holloway is one of the most underrated all-time great college quarterbacks, okay? He came this close to winning 3 national titles. But in 85, he came in for Troy after he broke his leg against Miami, but he led them the rest of the way. And every player on that team says Troy was unbelievable. He was an NFL quarterback, but he was not a Sooner quarterback. Because we would not have won the rest of our games with Troy.
Ooh.
86.
JB don't like
they
that.
were probably the second best team. They lost 1 game to Miami. 87, they were a top 2 team. They lost 1 game to Miami. From 85 to 87, the University of Oklahoma was 33-0 against the country, 0-3 against the Jimmy Johnson Renegades of South Florida. It's the greatest stat in the history of college football. And Barry Switzer flat out said, I'm never scheduling Miami. He goes, we're not doing it. He flat out said, I'm not doing it. But Casillas was a monster. He was an absolute monster. And when he got to Dallas, he was part of that great rotation that had Tony Casillas, Jim Jeffcoat, Tony Tolbert, and they added a Charles Haley, Russell Maryland, Jimmy Jones. I mean, they used to come out in waves. It's one of the deepest NFL D-lines I've ever seen in my life.
Keith Jackson.
But he still hates Bosworth. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, Jamel coached with me at Verb Day and at some other places, and I'm going to get him on the show. I actually talked to my boy Rico, and they live by each other to this day. So we're going to get Jamel on the show, and also Juju Watkins. Juju Watkins.
By the way, we're not gonna reveal our sources here, but you talked about it. And by the way, shout out to Coach. He said last Saturday, Nico to UCLA is done. He had that scoop because I was telling some of my UCLA friends, he's coming. Don't worry about it. You had the scoop. I'm going to call you the Adam Schefter of this show. But anyway,
I just can't be. See, I'm not a
no,
snitch.
you can't.
I can't go out there. I can't go out there against Colin Cowherd and say, yeah, I said it a week ago, Colin.
Give it to me, then I can say the stuff. Just give it to me. If you can't do it, and then it's still.
Oh yeah, that's not gonna be a dead giveaway. Where
right. Who would Smitty know?
I'm real good. Steve, I know people, Steve, in the industry. Don't sleep on Big Smitty now, Steve. I can play it off.
So you're gonna play it. I got you. Yeah, we can play it off.
I wouldn't. Come on now.
We have proof. We have proof that, and this is really interesting because you guys had Matt McChesney, Big Matt, shout out to him on the show a couple of days ago, who's battling in Boulder with all the supposed fans of the last 2 years.
I'm hearing some other things now. I gotta find out for myself tomorrow.
What happened?
But Matt's backpedaling. I gotta find out if he is or not.
Because he's getting them. But here's the thing: this is not about Matt. Smitty, we know for a fact because we have seen the footage, we have seen the screenshots, we have evidence. There's a lot of Buffalo legends. They're not happy about this retired jersey thing. So when all these young fans want to just talk about, Coach JB be hating or hatering, okay, I would love to have you guys. I wish you guys knew who was like really upset by this. The legends are not happy, Coach. None
of them. Hey, by the way, you've seen texts I've shown you from certain people. By the way, you can say all you want. It's prime sexuals have. Deion Sanders has his own following. It's not a Colorado following. His following is from Florida, Georgia, all these different places. Like, come on, man. Like, can we be honest? And guess what? The legends are not happy, and even Joe Klatt himself is not happy. So I don't want to hear it.
He's not. Are you sure? Klatt's kind of what? Look, and I love Joe.
Have you not seen the
video? You didn't see the video. No, Klatt came out. That's my guy. Klatt came out and said, "Nah, I'm guessing."
You're okay. I like Klatt.
I love Klatt.
NIL transfer portal's not the problem. Joel, it is. Come on, dog. Joel, come on. And I call him Joel. I want to urbanize him a little. Joel. But the legends, Smitty, are not happy. I'm talking guys with rings.
Yeah, I don't get it.
They have jewelry. They got some jewelry on their index finger.
Yeah, I know a few guys that are not happy at all.
I mean, they're really. I was like, wow.
You've seen the text.
Yeah.
And then you're using a few expletives in there too. But I'm just saying, it's crazy. Steve, are you got Whitlock next?
No, Scap Attack. Jay Scap is the guest this week, so I think I'm going to be on tomorrow. So it's okay. I'm here with you guys.
You should just stay on for the next. You should stay on with us. You might as well. We got Rob Parker on. We got fucking Doug Plank. You know more about Doug Plank than I do, but anyway.
Doug Plank. I actually have to do some stuff here. Here's the thing about Doug Plank. People don't understand. He is actually the guy that was named, or the defense was named for him, the 46.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with the front. 46 is Doug Plank. Have you ever seen highlights of Doug Plank? He was the original Chuck Cecil. Just a heat-seeking, vicious, violent missile.
You know they got him as a top 10
most vicious players of all time. I see him on different lists.
Top 10, most vicious players of all time, Steve. Steve, I can't wait. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you Tuesday. Go follow Steve on 3 Knockdown Rule, Mario Lopez. And any fights this weekend?
Nothing really big, but in Oceanside, a home of Junior Seau, Golden Boy has a show, and on that card is a junior middleweight that I wrote about. My article's coming out soon for snack.com. Charles Bad News Conwell, I believe, is the dark horse at 154. He can fight. And I believe one day he will be a world champion. I like him. So watch him. On the Zone, by the way.
Hey,
appreciate you, Steve.
Steve, we'll see maybe if you're not doing that this weekend. Sunday, I might be on the yacht. Come on out.
On the yacht. Sunday's my work day.
Sundays don't work for Steve or me.
Steve, Saturday, if you're not doing that, Saturday.
Well, I don't know about the yacht. I got to watch fights and stuff, so we'll see. Let me know what you're doing.
Some of us have jobs, JB. We can't be doing the yacht all day. All right, Steve.
All right, Steve. Later. Smitty, I want to see you introduce this next one because I think I have a new best friend.
You got a new best friend. Okay, well, perfect timing, man. My guy, my OG, we go way back here. Long time sports journalist, knower of all things as well, man. My guy Rob Parker is in the building. What's going on, Rob?
What's happening, guys? How are you? Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, appreciate you. Hey, I'm gonna take something out of Set Brothers, man. I think we became best friends when I saw your Patrick Mahomes take.
Okay. Which one? Which one did you like? Tell me.
That the motherfucker's overrated as shit. He's overrated as shit. That's what it is, because he's one of the most overrated superstars in the history of professional sports, right there with LeBron. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, I loved your take on Mahomes. I don't think people realize the game. Like, it's become so lateral, and we're looking at this cat like he's sitting here throwing dagger dig routes on time against quarters coverage, and I'm looking at it like, you don't get hit no more. You can't get hit. You underhand, left hand, all this shit that's flashy. He ain't throwing no real deal quarterback play, but I know you. I know you had to take.
No. You know what? At one point, people were mad at me because I said that he had turned into Daniel Jones, and they had similar stats. Like a lot of people, I get it. Patrick Mahomes has won 3 Super Bowls, right? So once you win that, you have cachet, and people keep saying, "Oh, but I won't go against Mahomes and the Chiefs." Like even in the Super Bowl, if you were honest and looked at the Eagles team and the Chiefs team, you knew it was a mismatch. You knew that the Eagles had offensive, defensive line, that they were going to win this football game. Not a blowout in that fashion, but I was shocked at how many people were still picking the Chiefs, despite the fact that Mahomes hadn't played well. Can you imagine a team that goes 15-2 and the quarterback gets 0 first-place votes for an MVP? In what league does that happen? That tells you all you need. 0 first-place votes for MVP on a 15-2 team. Go look at those games. There were about 4 or 5 games that were gift wrapped to them during the season. And Mahomes, if you want to be honest, just be honest. And no one's saying he's a bum or he can't play. But the last 2 years, go look at the stats. They're not good. And in fact, everybody dogs Aaron Rodgers. Go compare Aaron Rodgers' stats with Patrick Mahomes last year. They're the same stats.
Even Russell Wilson. Even Russell Wilson. Same
stats.
Hey, you know what I call him? Yak and Rack and Yak. People don't realize that I'm not talking about yak we drink. Yak. Yards after catch, he is the king. Tyreek Hill took a screen 80, and then the DraftKings and FanDuel and all these people that play him, Mahomes got me 42 points. Guess what? He's the GOAT. See, people don't want to talk about that shit. That's what it is. Tyreek Hill took screen 80, and he got yak yards and then run after the catch. Rack, I call it. And then guess what? He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
And I want to say this. You just mentioned the whole GOAT talk, and they were talking about him chasing Brady. And I was like, wait a minute. Did something happen to Joe Montana? Like, how did he jump over Joe Montana, who's 4-0 in the Super Bowls? He won 3 MVPs. He won 2 with Jerry Rice, 2 without Jerry Rice. Can I give you his stats? 11 touchdowns, no picks, highest quarterback rating. And guess what? Twice he had to win the Super Bowl where he needed a touchdown, not a field goal to win the game. And people were already saying he was chasing Tom Brady. And I was like, when did he pass Joe Montana?
There's a lot of guys he hadn't.
I don't even have him past Peyton Manning, and I get it. I know Peyton's resume is not flawless, but
he ain't past Aikman.
When you talk about how he runs, JB's talking about running the offensive system and getting the ball downfield and being in a more complex offense. Nobody did it to me like Peyton Manning and the Sheriff there. But people love to give these guys their flowers too soon, in my opinion, before it's all said and done. So we'll see, though. We'll see, man. But Rob, I'm so happy to have you on here. My brother, it's been a minute since the last time I saw you.
Absolutely. But I'm knee deep in baseball season, MLBbro.com. So we're all over baseball and stuff, and the NBA playoffs, and watching the Warriors. I mean, if you watch that game and think the Warriors are going to make a run to the championship, that was a bad look, that game. And thank God for the officials. They blew a 20-point lead at home. you know, that they're and if Jimmy Butler and Steph have to score 80 points for them to just barely win, good luck going forward.
So I actually think it's going to be a good first round series between them and Houston. I mean, Houston obviously should be the favorite, but I see that series going.
Houston is the favorite. They are the favorite, aren't they?
Yeah. No, of course, but I see that going 6 or 7 games. Though I don't see it being just like a cakewalk for Houston though as well.
Oh no, I'm not saying
they're
that.
still
But
young.
I mean, they have the higher seed, is what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how people can watch a whole NBA season. Houston, the second seed in the West, and act as if. And the Warriors at the end of the season, they lost to the Spurs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Without Fox and without Wemby. Then they played the Clippers at home, a game that they needed so that they didn't have to go into the play-in, and they lost that game. And go look at when they had the run with Jimmy Butler at 15-3. They beat so many cupcakes. I'm surprised Steve Kerr didn't get a toothache. I mean, it was just not. They didn't beat anybody.
But I think that their record overall since Jimmy has joined, I think it's 23-7. So I think people are looking at the Warriors. They're not looking at the full season. They're looking at, okay, who are they with Jimmy? Because it's 2 totally different teams before Jimmy.
Yeah, but my point is, if you look at the wins with Jimmy, they were beating bad teams. The NBA's filled with. Go look, teams under 500, and most of those wins, 15 or 16 of those wins, came against teams like that. Which I'm not knocking. They're on the schedule. You got to beat them. Yeah. But I'm not convinced that they're this great team that's going to make a championship run. They did lose at home this year in San Francisco by 40 in a game that Steph played in.
They did. That is true. And since we're talking NBA real quick, JB, I know you're Detroit through and through. Detroit Pistons in the playoffs, 6th seed. I guess what's your take on just this turnaround season? I mean, Detroit is finally kind of, back on the up and up, on the basketball court. Are you giving them any chance here in the playoffs to get an upset here in the first round? Or I guess, what are your thoughts on Detroit?
I don't think they're going to beat the Knicks. I think they have had a really good turnaround season. Mm-hmm. A lot of this too, and I'm not knocking JB Bickerstaff or what Kay Cunningham and those guys have done, but let's be honest. Last year, there's no way they should have been that bad. To lose 28 games in a row in this NBA. That was on Monty Williams, okay? He didn't want to be there. He took the money because they offered him a ridiculous contract, and it showed. That team never should have been that bad. So the turnaround looks monumental, but last year shouldn't have ever happened. But they have made a turnaround. As you know, I worked in Detroit for 20 years. I was there when that 2014 was put together and had that run and went to back-to-back championships, won one and lost the second one in 7 games to the Spurs. And that team was incredible. It was great basketball to watch. Larry Brown, Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace, Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, Tayshaun Prince. It was incredible. But the Pistons have a nice start, you know what I mean, on getting this to where they're going to be in the mix and not to make it into the play-in, which is impressive, but to actually get the 6th seed. So it's been a great turnaround season for them.
Yeah, the play-in's a joke. Let me ask you something, Rob, real quick. Is Bickerstaff the coach of the year?
No, Kenny Atkinson will be coach of the year. And Bickerstaff, again, has done a tremendous job, but you can't tell me that's the same Cleveland Cavaliers team as a year ago. I mean, they were unbelievable. And Kenny Atkinson can coach. He did it with Brooklyn. Yeah. He can coach, and you can see the difference. I think it'll be hard for people not to give it to him because of the turnaround of the Cavs from good to very good.
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt. Where are you at? What's your take on the West here? Do the Lakers have a real shot at this thing?
I mean, they always have a shot. Do I think I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid like most people who always just automatically put the Lakers in every year. Darnell, you know that. That's all people do, especially out here out west. It's the Lakers no matter what. But I'm not so sure. I think the Lakers might be the first team trying to get to the NBA Finals where they have statues outside the building and statues inside when you talk about defense. LeBron and Luka.
Hell yeah. Great take.
You know what I mean? I know everybody acts like the defense matters in the NBA in the playoffs, getting stops, all kinds of stuff. I don't see it. I don't see it.
The West is tough, man. No, I'm saying the West is tough. I mean, the Clippers to me are rolling right now. I know you kind of like holding your breath because every single year it seems like something happens, and we're not wishing nothing, of course. But it's hard
Darnell,
to
Darnell,
count on it.
Darnell,
Jason.
First time ever, all 4 franchises in California is in the playoffs same time.
Oh,
wow! And you know what? You're right about the Clippers. They first of all, Ty Lue's one of the best coaches in the NBA. He's really a good coach.
Still the JV, though.
But if all you got to do is if somehow Kawhi can stay healthy and very under the radar all year, James Harden has played great this year.
Yes.
You haven't heard anything about James Harden just played basketball when Kawhi's in the lineup, but not in the lineup. He's been tremendous. So it's the Clippers are a scary team.
They got Denver in the first round. That's gonna be a hell of a series, though, Rob. Denver and Clippers. I know Denver fired their coach. It's a lot going on there, but that's still a really good football team with, to me, who should be the MVP in Jokic. And I'm sorry, I know Shai Gilgeous had an incredible year. I just think what the Joker did this year is
you said football team, homie.
Basketball team, excuse me. Basketball team.
Hey, Rob.
Phenomenal. But
Rob,
that first season's gonna be crazy.
And James went to my high school, but you know why you haven't heard from James too often?
Years later.
Too much this year because they already know what's coming. You won't hear from his ass again in the playoffs either. And that's the problem with James Harden. That's the problem with the Clippers. They're the JV team, and they needed to. That's why they had to get out of the Staples and go get their own spot.
Wow, just for context, JB's a big Lakers fan. If you haven't noticed,
okay, I get it. I get it. And the Clippers, because of what's happened, until they do it, they're definitely a Missouri team that show me, and people have seen this team, and they just haven't been able to get there. And I agree. But if somehow, some way, Kawhi is able to get them to that situation, or even, God forbid, they win, you want to talk about where Kawhi would fit in, winning with 3 different teams and 2 franchises who have never won. He helped Toronto win a championship, and if he's somehow able to get the Clippers to win, he would write his own story in the NBA, because it would be a story nobody else has been able to get close to.
I can't wait for them to lose so I could FaceTime Marcellus. And I'm going to FaceTime Marcellus. I'm texting him right now, letting him know you on and saying, hey, man, the Clippers are done. They're going to get swept by the Nuggets. But that's just who they are. Hey, Rob, let me ask something, Rob, real quick. Speaking of a team that we all love in L.A., the Doyers, the Dodgers, are they bored right now already? Are they that good?
I don't know if they're bored. I just think, to be honest, that the other team, for the idea that they could be in 3rd place at any point during the season is shocking. Seriously.
Yeah.
With the roster, with the team they have put together. But let's be honest. If you're even a Dodger fan, the Padres were better last year, had them down 3-1 and choked. There's no way the Dodgers should have beaten them 3 straight games. You remember the game in L.A. where they got shellacked, embarrassed, and then had to go to San Diego, and they wound up winning, the game that they needed in order to win the series. But San Diego is a good team, and the Giants have been surprising. I just cannot get over, their start and their offense. They went to Philadelphia, and they're laying wood on people, scoring 12, 13 runs in games and whatnot. So I think that what's great is that we're actually going to have some competition, and it's not going to be a layup. You know what I mean? And they'll have to play. It'll bring out the best. The Dodgers have a couple of injuries and situations. On paper, they have the best team in baseball on paper. But as we know, the best team doesn't always win. And JB, here's the other thing. You know this. The hardest thing to do in baseball is to repeat. No one has done it since the Yankees 25 years ago. 25 years ago. And the last National League team to repeat, do you know what team that is?
Giants? No.
They never repeated, right?
Last National League, probably Dodgers.
Nope, the last National League team, the Big Red Machine. Darnell, you ready? 1975, 76 Reds. No National League team has repeated.
Johnny Bench. Ooh, that's tough. That's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting, man. The Big Red Machine. It's gonna be interesting. I think the Dodgers are I don't know. I think they go on like one of these historic runs too. Not just once, but probably twice or 3 times this year, where they'll go win 10 in a row. They'll have a 15 in a row. They'll have a 10 in a row. That's what I think they're gonna do, which will end up just separating them.
Bouncing out, basically.
I think so. I don't know.
They have a good team on paper, man. They're going to win a lot of games. So I'm not going to sit here and try to sell you that they're not going to win a lot of games. They will win a lot of games.
No doubt. Hey, where are you at on this draft thing? I know you cover all things. Where you have any surprises? You think anyone's gonna slide? You got any predictions? You got any takes on this NFL draft? I think the quarterback position this year is as bad as I've seen getting drafted.
To me, no. I mean, I'm not one of these draft Nick guys who who read everybody else's take and then try to act like it's theirs. So I'm not on that page. You know what I mean? I really don't. But to me, it's about Travis Hunter and seeing where Shedeur Sanders will wind up. Those are the 2 players I'm looking at. You know what I mean? Where do they wind up? And is Shedeur going to drop? Teams that really need a quarterback, are they going to wait till next year, the year after, to find a quarterback? And maybe he's not there. I don't know. Like, he's not a talent where, like, oh my God, I have to have him this year. But he's a guy who can play and has had some success. So it'll be interesting to see where he winds up. You would have thought that the New York Football Giants would be interested in trying to get a quarterback for long term, but they go get 2 quarterbacks and now kind of say that they're set in the quarterback position. So it looks like they're looking for something else. So it'll be interesting to see where he is.
I think Dable's on the hot seat and he knows it, and I don't think he can afford to draft a guy that he's not sold on. Like, I guess, you don't like your wife, you love her, right? That's how you marry her.
You know what? I agree with you on both cases. The GM and Dable are in hot water, and that's why when people ask, why in the world are you doing that instead of Bill? They don't have time for that. If they go get a rookie quarterback and he doesn't play well and you lose again after last year, you're going to be out on the street. And it's the same thing in Pittsburgh. Let's just be honest. They haven't won a playoff game in like 9 years. Yeah, and at some point, finishing 500 is not going to be good enough for people. And I think that's why they're looking for a veteran quarterback, and they did it last year with Russell Wilson, and they're waiting on Aaron Rodgers. They need to win a playoff game, and they cannot afford to bring somebody along.
Are you lying? Are you going to see my bad, Smitty? Are you going to see your Detroit Lions ever get over that hump and get this thing done?
Nope. Your coach blew it. They had a chance it's done. It's done.
It's over? They missed the window already, Ron?
They missed the window.
Oh, man. I think they still
window
got it. They deal with the injury bug last year.
Darnell, look, last year was set up for them. At home, #1 seed, you played a rookie quarterback, all of that. And people want to give excuses. Stop with the excuses, because the problem I have with it is you can't do what you did right against Minnesota and then act like, oh, well, we didn't have so-and-so. We didn't have this guy. We didn't have that guy. Dude, they were 9.5-point favorites with the roster that they had. Vegas doesn't give out 9.5 points just because. They really believe the Lions were going to be able to outscore them. But what happened? Jared Goff turned into Jared Tennis. And then 3 interceptions and a fumble later, you realize why the Rams gave up on them.
Man, that's
tough.
That's real. And that's a tough division that they're in too right now as well. You know what I'm saying?
It's getting better. Every year it's getting better. Like they had a window there, and now you're looking at it, and now I don't even know. I don't know if they're going to. Is Dan Campbell without his coordinators as good of a coach? I'm not convinced of that.
We got to see it.
Hey, I told Smitty this. I'm like, man, that shit is important. That's why he had that shot. He begged Ben that don't leave last year. Remember, he had opportunity, and that was, to your point, that was their shot. I'm with you on that. I think Goff's a deer in headlights when the times get too big. I think he's a guy. That's why the Rams got rid of him and won a Super Bowl instantly. But nobody wants to talk about that. So Smitty just keeps fighting that.
I like that. Hey, he did go to a Super Bowl, though. I do want to make that clear. A lot of them didn't do that.
And the guy was buried in Detroit
against Tom Brady. A lot of people love Tom Brady.
Stafford was buried for 12 years in Detroit and goes immediately his first year and wins it all.
It wasn't just Stafford on the team. They added Jalen Ramsey. They added OBJ, who at that point in time was still OBJ to an extent.
And don't forget,
Miller. Come on.
Don't forget why you throwing all these flowers to Matthew Stafford. He threw the game-losing interception that was dropped by that 49er DB, right on cue. Matt Stafford, if you remember, how many quarterbacks throw a game-winning touchdown in Super Bowl and is not the MVP? You know why? He had 2 picks and the other one in the NFC Championship game. You remember he had it to the 49er DB. Right there. You can throw that ball 100 times. That dude's going to catch it 99 times. And I think he got kicked out of the league after that.
He had pressure in his face. He's the best ball spinner in football. I'm just telling you.
That's why I always say context matters with all the situations. Every player has something, a play here that you can throw out. That's why
because I've talked about this with Patrick Mahomes so many times. Like come on now, this motherfucker he threw for 180 yards. Cats were calling him the greatest quarterback in the history of football. He ain't never even threw for 300 yards in the Super Bowl until finally. Come on now, I mean, we thought double overtime thriller. So I don't know. It's interesting to get your take. Rob, man, I can't thank you enough for popping on here, man. Hopefully I see you soon and get you back on again.
Make sure y'all tune into The Odd Couple, man, with Rob and Kelvin. Let them know where they can find you with Tom. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, Rob, if you're a betting man, though, you still betting with the Dodgers or the field?
Ooh. I'm going to take the field because of the history of baseball. I'm going to take the field. Yeah, that you can be great all year, and you know this, have one series and run into a buzzsaw. You remember a couple of years ago against Arizona, they didn't even lead in the series and got swept.
Yeah.
And they had a great year that year.
No doubt. I agree.
Guys.
All right, Rob. Appreciate you, brother.
Good seeing you. Yes, sir.
Legendary Rob Parker, man.
My guy. Always good having him on here, man. 25 years since someone has went back-to-back in the World Series.
Yankees won 3 in a row, right? I asked you a question, Omri.
Yeah.
You sure?
I am sure.
Hut. We got Doug Plank on in about 7 minutes or so. Legend, top 10. Let's just say most tenacious players of all time. I don't think a lot of people know who he was. Tenacious. He was a dog. He was a dog. So can't wait to have Doug on and talk about the whole history behind his number 46. Behind everything, man. We've had some legendary guests on tomorrow. We got another legend, by the way.
Who?
Bobby Valentine. Bobby Valentine is on tomorrow, man. If you guys are baseball fanatics,
man,
I wouldn't miss that one. I wouldn't miss that one.
Man.
Yeah, Bobby Valentine tomorrow. Who else? We got someone else too, I think, on tomorrow. That's big.
We be having the OGs on here, man. Like,
yeah, you don't even know any of them.
80s.
Yeah, you don't know any of them. Like yeah, literally
like 74 plus. Like the OGs be on here, man. Like it's crazy.
I literally like do work now to like realize like
82 years, like just be the legends. I love it.
Like you don't even know who any of them are. It's crazy.
I think Bobby Valentino. I think talking about the music artist at first.
He thought it was a motherfucker singing the prom song. Hey, real quick, I got to give you a soundbite though from a guy that I love to hear. I'm so glad we're old school guys think alike, man. Because it kind of chimes into my lead in today, Smitty.
I don't like old school guys.
I know. Take a listen to our main man, John Gruden, real quick.
Best thing I got. Get those wideouts back with you. I need 3 slot combinations.
Okay.
They don't let us coaches have any meetings, so you got to meet together and get it done yourself.
Right,
I got to go recruiting. I got to find some new players. That's all I do now is fucking recruit.
All right, the first one, I'm just going to go ahead. Let me pause. So it's going to be a slot fade by number 2 and a number 1 locked hitch.
Fucking NIL recruiting bullshit. Might as well let the players run the team.
And then the next one we'll call it Lucy. So number 1, mandatory outside release. And then number 2, you have option route. Sorry for getting upset.
I like that. Mandatory release.
Spider 2 white banana. Love me some John. God, I'm glad he's staying relevant, man.
He's funny and entertaining for sure. I give him that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go get with him, man. We're gonna have to get on. I gotta get Joe. I gotta get John.
That would be great. Y'all had a show together. That would actually be very entertaining. That would be great.
Oh yeah, it'd break the internet. It'd break the internet.
Right?
Break the internet. Yeah. It'd break the internet.
Gotta be produced right. It wouldn't break the internet, but it could be really entertaining though.
It'd guarantee break the internet.
Break the internet, but you probably have a clip here and there go viral.
It'll definitely break the internet. Breaking news though. Ball State's gonna go to Division II.
April Fool's joke, y'all.
What's your take, homie?
April Fool's joke is my take. This is all cap. This is all fake news. This is not real. They post this on April 1st, try to be funny. Little Barstool Ball State account. Some Ball State student who hates on the athletic program who could never go out there and do anything athlete. Couldn't run a ladder, couldn't hit a fucking pop-up, couldn't run through a sled. Want to try to talk crazy about my Ball State Chronicles, man. Chirp, baby. We D1. We stay in D1. That's what it is.
Whole school hit the portal today.
Man, stop it, homie.
Basketball, football, everybody in the portal.
Stop reading the chat, homie.
Women, coach, women player, everybody's in the portal, homie. I'm not even on the fucking internet. I don't even see the chat.
That ain't even funny, homie.
Huh?
That ain't funny at all. You are on the internet, homie. We live on the internet, homie. Your chat is I can see your chat through the reflection on the back screen. Stop lying, homie.
No, you're not.
You saw D Jones' comment. As soon as he wrote that, you said it, homie. I be calling y'all on your bluff. Don't be a little here like that. We the real show.
I literally have a page up about Doug Plank.
This shit
I'm not even watching
this, Bailey.
I'm not even watching
always happens.
Let me hold on, homie.
Somebody in the chat said comment and JB said identical what they said.
Hold on. I'm doing this live, homie. I'm doing this live right now so I can get this live right now on the show. Live right now on the show.
You telling me you did not see D Jones comment in here?
No. I didn't. I don't even have the fucking show
literally
up.
Right.
I'm a promo tell you. One thing about me, Smitty.
D Jones put a whole school here in the portal. You literally
listen. One thing about me, I don't lie. One thing about me, I don't need to lie. Hold on, I'm not gonna do nothing. I'm not on the show. I can hear you, so I know what's going on. I'm literally doing some little studying on Doug Plank. I just sent it to Bailey. Bailey, please show my video so I show the live video, what I have on my big screen in front of me right now. It's an impossibility to believe what Smitty's saying. So now, Smitty, you need to make a public apology live on the show. I didn't see that by D. Jones. I just now popped back in the screen. Thank you. Where's my voice? No, Smitty, how did I see? I'm doing this live right now so I can get this live right now on the show. Live right now on the show. Show Smitty. How did I see?
So all he did, y'all, was he really quickly clicked on another tab, y'all.
I don't have another.
You cannot tell me this happens it happens often. I see it often.
Homie, I don't look at no chat. I barely see the chat if I see my talking shit. I go. I did not see D Jones right now. I'll tell you about posted it. If I see some shit talkers or some shit birds, I go right in and talk, and I'll grab their ass. You know me. But I usually come on. That shit be moving fast over there, homie. When I pop it up,
the timing was impeccable. Is all I'm saying. I'm saying that timing was crazy.
But the bottom line is,
you said it. It's weird. It's crazy.
Are you mad at me because I said it, or are you mad because it's the truth? I don't think you guys. It's unbelievable.
Oh, you were the JUCO. I can't remember what's going on there.
Huh? You what? I went to Duke.
You went to JUCO, didn't you?
I went to JUCO. Hell yeah.
I went to Ball State, homie. There's levels to this.
Hey, respect.
All right.
I came from the mud. You got gifted.
No, I earned that scholarship, homie.
Yeah. Hey, I'm seeing the best wideout. Florida State's entered the portal. We got a shitbird. Nebraska kicked out. Went to Kentucky. He got caught for stealing and robbing a moving container, a storage container.
Allegedly.
Storage facility.
Allegedly,
yeah. Yeah, like, how much you gonna get these motherfuckers? So we're not giving them enough. They're robbing fucking storage facilities too. But y'all defend them motherfucking shitbirds. Oh, man, Eddie.
That's way more than normal. Shout out to Eddie, man. Appreciate you, my brother.
That's like a what? What is that? A 80% increase?
Yeah, that's huge. Might be more than that.
It's 100% increase.
100% increase. Yeah, literally 100% increase.
101%.
Yeah, I love that, man. Shout out to you, Eddie.
Eddie, did you get a raise?
Give me some chips.
I think I haven't drank all week. I'm on this fast thing.
Don't drink.
I think I just want to drink right now already.
Just stop drinking.
I'm getting tired of the portal, the soft pussies. We defend these kids every day, but then it's okay when they get a $200,000 car running off the road. Then it's okay to rob a fucking storage facility. We still haven't given them enough, though. Keep giving them more money so they can go do this. Fucking unbelievable. I mean, it's unbelievable. Pause, Lucy.
Lucy, what's that site you be watching at night?
Nah, hold up, homie. I don't like her comment right here though.
JB is shrinking daily. Nah, you look skinny as hell. Like every time you,
I don't like what I don't know where that's. What's that? What she?
I don't know what you sent to her. I don't know what y'all got going on behind the scenes. You sent her a picture. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe she saw something that was different than what you sent to her last year. I don't know. Shoot.
It only shrinks in the pool, homie.
That's between y'all, homie. I ain't got nothing to do with me, homie. You know,
it only shrinks in a jacuzzi, homie.
You and Lucy grown. Oh, Chris said no shrinkage though. Chris must have saw something too. She said no shrinkage. So you good. You bounce back. And Chris do be at the house. So, but forget all that though, because it's time for a legend, and I want you to switch the gear here, and I want you to introduce this OG right here, man. One of the most vicious, physical,
can't see you,
NFL players of all time. JB, go ahead and bring him in the right way while I get my camera.
Blurry. Your camera is super, super horrible.
I see it. What I can do about it.
Man, this guy right here, I can't wait to talk to because the pride of Pennsylvania, man, Ohio State Buckeye legend, and 12th round pick, Smitty. See, you guys you don't really even realize the luxury. The NFL used to have 14 rounds.
Yeah.
And you're blurry as hell. Tell Smitty to leave Bailey until he can get this camera fixed. But we got Doug in the background laughing, man. Our legendary guy, number 46, for multiple reasons. You're going to find out why. One of the hardest hitting cats to ever play. Strap it up. Doug Plank joins the show. Can't thank him enough. Doug, appreciate you.
Hey, listen, thank you guys. There are not many people that have me on anymore, so I do appreciate the consideration. And, you know, the one thing great about football is, especially hitting other people, is that, number one, you enjoy it. But number two, you know what? It doesn't happen anymore. It doesn't happen like it used to happen, you know, where you were knocking helmets off and knocking guys out, including yourself. Those days are gone. And
no doubt. That's a great point. Knock ourselves out. All right, Doug, I got to get right to brass tacks here for the audience, especially a lot of the young ones that are in here in the chat that probably have no clue, no offense, to who you really are and what you did to pave the way for these youngsters. But the 46 defense, or the bear front or diamond front, where a lot of us old coaches talk about, how did it come about? And did Buddy Ryan actually take your number and the fact that you played it and said, that's what we're going to call it?
You know what? Honestly, it came as a big shock to everybody in that room that day. You walk into the room, and there was no X's and O's. It was all about numbers. Buddy Ryan, if you had a number, which everybody has, he would put that up on the board, wherever it was on the scheme, the schematic, or whatever. Number one, he came to Chicago, and we sucked. I mean, I don't have to put it any better than that. We were bad. We were not only a losing team, it was pathetic to watch us. And you know, I just ache sometimes when I have to be a fan myself and watch the Bears go down to defeat, you know, yet yelling and screaming to fans up in the stands, you know, and then having a Hail Mary go over their head. I'm going, what the heck is going on? This is the NFL, professional football players. So, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is that, you know, I got to play in Chicago because of a game that happened to me at Ohio State. And it was against Northwestern. I didn't know a Chicago Bear Scout had come to watch the number one team in the country at that time, Ohio State. beat up on Northwestern. And you know what? I got a chance to get in there real early in the game because another safety got injured. And I had the game of my life. I'm forcing fumbles. You can do all this against Northwestern. Get an interception, force the fumble. I was on kickoff. I made all the kickoff tackles. A Bear scout came. I found this out later. Said, Doug, we didn't even know who you were. And we figured you were worth a 12th round draft pick based on what we saw that day. And had I not played, had I been on the bench, just like my other games at Ohio State, most of my career, I think the 3 years that I played there, I started in 5 games. 3 of those were my sophomore year. 2 of those were my senior year. Now, who thinks they're going to get drafted, even in the 12th round? I didn't. And, so I really feel like there was a spirit that was helping me get to where I had to go.
No doubt. You beat up on the smart kids, and they probably didn't like that very much. Northwestern. You beat up on the smart kids. They're like, shit, we don't like this. No, let me ask you, Buddy Ryan, that whole team. I've talked to Jim McMahon several times in person about being on those teams as well and all this stuff. How tenacious was he to get you to? Because I've seen a lot of things where they got you as like top 10 most tenacious hitters of all time on the NFL list, top 100 Chicago Bear of all time.
I'm a nice guy.
Where you at with Buddy Ryan? How was Buddy Ryan and Ditka and all those guys?
Well, I'll tell you what, Buddy was the defensive coordinator for the Vikings before he came to Chicago. We played against them twice every year. We saw all their games because every game we were getting ready to play an opponent, the Minnesota Vikings, the Detroit Lions, Green Bay, that they were in our conference. So we absolutely got to know the other players on the other teams, Green Bay, Minnesota, Detroit. We knew those guys like we knew ourselves. And so that's where Buddy saw me playing. Basically, I was a safety. But you know what? I love to hit people. And what I did was I studied end zone film. People go, what is end zone film? Every NFL game has, every team films the game from the side, the press box and the end zone.
Oh, yeah.
Those are 2 angles. Now, why in the world would I want a sideline photo when I'm looking at the game from the end zone on both ways? So all I did was look at end zone film. And I go, oh my gosh, these linemen, as they get tired, they tell you what it's going to be. They're leaning back on the passes. They're leaning forward on the runs. They got one hand down and one hand up. You can start telling when they're going to pull on sweeps. I mean, I would look at this, and after I left, Mike Singletary, we kind of coached each other that last year transition. Mike just took over and ate these guys alive. He was like one of those lawnmowers, that just remote out there in the lawn. He wasn't very high. He was low, man. Boom. He would just pack a punch, knocking everybody out. I just loved it. I was serving him.
You had Finsick on that team too. Didn't you have Finsick?
Yeah, Finsick. Oh yeah, Gary Finsick. He was a receiver at Yale. I mean, I said, Gary, how did you make this transition? I go, you're a receiver and now you're a safety. And he goes, Doug, I just got in that room, put my hoodie on, I sat in the back row, and I watched you play. And I just tried to do everything you could do. I was 46, he was 45. So many times, I can't tell you how many teams called me Gary and called him Plank. Whatever. I don't want to say any words.
You can say whatever you want to on here.
Yeah, you can say anything on this show.
You guys are terrible. Nobody realized that between Gary and I, we were usually the least penalized player on the team. Now, my first year, I'm back at 12 yards, and I'm the leading tackler on the team. Now, how does that happen? At Ohio State, I was playing with a whole bunch of future NFL players. We would average like 4 or 5 first-round draft picks on Ohio State. I'm going, so I love playing against these guys in practice, and that's the only chance I got to play against them in practice. They didn't know it, but my game was on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, not Saturday, because I just ran down on kickoffs on Saturday.
Hey, Doug, now we're protecting ourselves all week long and putting helmet condoms on our helmets and all this shit. Now we don't want to practice hard at all because we're afraid we're going to get hurt. No, we practice hard because we didn't care, and then the game was fun.
And honestly, you know what? And I say this in all truthfulness. People go, gosh, Doug, what turned you on in the game? No, it was Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday practice. I practiced the way I played, just like Woody Hayes preached us back in Columbus, Ohio, at Ohio State. When you did that, and then all of a sudden you come into Soldier Field and there's 70,000 people there watching the game. Oh my gosh, you don't even have to get motivated. You just step on the field. Oh my God, this energy just comes over you like you just swallowed a box of something and you're just ready to go hit somebody. And the fans are all for you. I mean, it was awesome. I mean, Ohio State, I have to say this. Ohio State was unbelievable to me. I came from a small town in Western Pennsylvania, suburb of Pittsburgh, to come in and watch this festival. I mean, my parents, when they saw the first game, after I talked to them after, they were all crying because they had never seen a spectacle like this. 80 to 100,000 people yelling, screaming, cheering, the band coming out. I mean, I came from a small town, a suburb of Pittsburgh. That just puts it all in perspective. I mean, I was living the dream, even on the kickoff team. And, being the next man up, I'll tell you, I enjoyed it so much. And I'm still close friends with all those guys that I played behind. There was nothing feeling sorry for myself or, not playing or whatever. We won 3 Big Ten championships. We went to 3 Rose Bowls. What is there to be mad about? They won the national championship last year. I mean,
you're
who would want to be from Ohio State? I don't know. I was from Pennsylvania, but, I said I lived in Columbus for a while. So,
you're a 1%er.
Let me ask you this. I'm hearing your passion as you talk about Ohio State, and you get so fired up. It sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, are you more, I guess, are you closer to Ohio State than you are like your Chicago Bears kind of side?
No,
or is it,
no.
Okay, got it.
Here's why.
You got the
after
power.
I had this great game at we had a great game at Northwestern, and I did all these wonderful things in front of the Chicago Bear Scout. The next weekend, guess what? We played Michigan, our tribal. There is one play in that game early on in my senior year that I was trying to, when you don't play very much, you're a kid that just is inside the house for 5 years, never got out of the house. Then you stick him in the playground. Oh my gosh, he's running around the playground. He can't play with enough things. He's got the merry-go-round. He's crawling up ladders. He's swinging. That's how I felt when I got on the field. So I wasn't even interested in tackling people. I was just trying to run them over, destroy them. I imagined a space behind every runner and receiver. So when I got there, I still had room to go. People forget the arms. Arms aren't strong enough to hold you full speed. I would just run through people. I was just destroying them, knock helmets off. I mean, it was fun in meeting rooms. The next day it was, oh my gosh, look at this guy. Here's what happened against Michigan, though. Those are NFL players also. And there was a running back that came out of the backfield, caught a little dump pass, 5 yards deep, and I'm a strong safety at the time. I come up. I'm not interested in tackling him. I want to destroy him. I want to knock his Michigan, Wolverine helmet off his head. And I knock him back 5 yards. Guess what? He doesn't go down. He's got great balance. He recovers and runs another 35 yards for a touchdown. Now, I still do play the rest of that game, and I had some good plays. I made a lot of tackles. I didn't get any interceptions. I didn't get any fumbles. The next practice we had getting ready to go play USC in the Rose Bowl, Woody Hayes and our defensive coordinator walk up to me and say, Doug, you will only be on the kickoff team in the Rose Bowl. We can't trust you for making a tackle. I go, what? He goes, no, that's the way it is. We didn't like what we saw in that film. You missing, and that's all I said, you missing that tackle. So why did I ever think I was going to be in the NFL? So that Rose Bowl, I ran down on kickoffs. And every kickoff, if I didn't hit the ball carrier, I would hit a blocker, like in the wedge. I love
that wedge. Ooh, hold on. You would split the wedge?
Oh, I was on the kickoff team. I was not
wedge breaker. Oh, he's the wedge breaker.
When guys were trying to get ready to block you,
that's the most dangerous play on the football field.
Not anymore. They got rid of it because of him.
Receiver, you and I are going down, and a lot of times will be a double knockout. I was
the guy on kickoff return in college. I would go down. I would make the wedge.
You would have got fucked up, Smitty. He would have fucked you up.
I would. Hey, I don't know. I was a tough guy too. Now I was tough.
No, he would have rocked you. Hey, Doug, I gotta ask you straight up. Like,
move out the way, make him fall.
How many times how many times either did Woody put hands on you or you saw him put hands on a player and it was just normal daily practice? Like, how can you explain the difference?
I admire Coach Hayes for his success over many, many years. Disciplinarian whose time and era had come and gone. Even back then at that time in the 70s, the world was moving towards a gentler, friendlier place, not where Coach Hayes was, back in the late 60s and 70s. And so I admire him for the absolute discipline that he required from all of his players. Almost every one of his players graduated. He was all about GPA. I mean, it sounds crazy. He was all about GPA each year, and he would call you into his office if you were having a hard time with classes and things like that. But the bottom line is, he would in practice. I don't even want to tell you all this stuff. I mean, practice was harder than the game. I tell you, practice was harder than the game. When I'm watching that, I think it's Clemson game on that bowl game that they were playing in the last year he was coaching, and that guy intercepted the ball and ran down the sideline, and he comes out and he karate chops the guy in the throat. I'm not saying that's the first time he ever did it. I know, because I had one of those karate chops. But it was practice. It wasn't national television. It wasn't a bowl game. When I'm sitting in my living room watching it, I said, he's done. He forgot. He's not in Columbus, Ohio. He's not on the practice field. And, that's what happens to us older people now. We forget things 5 minutes ago. It's like an exercise. You play those things that happen, you flip the screen over, man, it goes blank. That's us. That's 60 and 70-year-olds. And when I saw that on television, I told my wife, and I met my wife, 55 years ago or whatever at Ohio State. So I love Ohio State's experiences. Yeah. I couldn't have asked for a nicer wife, smart. It just does everything with me or for me. And, but I felt so bad that night. If you wanted to see a real practice come, and that show was better than the game, because the guys were getting taken to the woodshed.
No doubt. I got to show the youngsters in the chat here. We got about 4,000 people here. And I got to show them who you were. So Bailey, pop it up. Let me show you. Let me show the guys who Doug Plank was here. Wow. Woo! We love the this is old football right here. 46. And look at Doug. Look at Doug's high. Doug fell down. Then he took his helmet off. Then he took his helmet off.
I ran into one time in an airport. It wasn't very good. It wasn't a great meeting. I'll say that.
What happened at the airport?
You know what? He just told me what he thought of me, and it wasn't anything I want to talk about today. And I did tell him this. No one realizes that game right there. That's the only fine I ever had in the National Football League. It started out as $10,000. It went down to $5,000. That's the same year I'm making like $45,000. You make the math. You divide that by 15, 16, and that was after tax. So I had to make almost twice that amount of money. And here's the other thing: I broke 3 ribs the week before at Pittsburgh. I didn't practice one time the last week after that, and the next week was the Monday night game against Tampa. And I realized when I go to that game, when I go down there, all my clothes are in their locker. I'm not supposed to play. And suddenly, Coach Ryan said, "You know what, Doug? They've got something for you in the medical, in the training room. Go in there, and then you're going to be playing tonight, son." I went in there. Oh my gosh, they had a needle longer than this television screen, and they started poking it everywhere they could in my chest. And I went out there. They said, "Doug, let's just see if you can run around and do something." Well, it hurt to grab somebody like this. And I'm not saying I was a tackler anyway, even though I did lead the team in tackles my rookie year. And like I said, Gary and I went back and forth. Now, how does that happen as safeties? When your safeties are leading your team in tackles, something is wrong. Either something's wrong with them because they like to hit people and tackle them so much, or your schemes aren't working. And Buddy Ryan saw that right away. He looked at me and goes, "That's where this whole 46 defense came from. How can you lead the team in tackles and be 12 yards away from the line of scrimmage?" He goes, "Son, we are bringing you up here." And like I said, everything was numbers. It wasn't names. You walked into his meetings, you never even heard names. And he coached by a 3-term message. It was either donkey manure, it was another profanity, or blew your mind. And I don't even want to talk about it. The bottom line is it was hard for players coming in that weren't accustomed to that 3-term coaching on every play. It wasn't like get deeper, get your hands around. No. Whether you were a pass rusher, you were guarding somebody coming out of the backfield, you were going to a zone, it was these 3 things every single play. And one time, Mike Singletary asked him, had the nerve and courage to ask him during a meeting, Coach Ryan, what are these 3 names? What are these 3 terms for? He said, if you don't know what they mean, then I have no reason to tell you. And we went to the next play. Now, are you ever going to ask another question in that meeting room? Not me.
Hell no.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm going to run down there. I'm going to run in their ways. I'm going to tackle everybody and knock them all down. Yes, sir. That's me.
Doug, I got to ask you something, man, just to clear the air here for a lot of people that I'm on this fence and stand on alone, usually on this hill. I got to ask you, like, we put helmet condoms on or whatever, these padded helmets now, and I don't know how hard that is for you to watch, but it is for me. And I play quarterback, and it's hard for me to watch. And I'm looking at this thing, and then we talk about all the issues now, right? We've seen the horrible issues that's gone on with the CTE and all these things. But we used to play football and with our helmet and our pads, and usually our body is sore. And I got to ask you, for a guy that's retired now, sitting around, how is your body? Because right now, I'm just telling you, you're sharp as a tack. So, like, I want to be clear. You played, and we played with our helmets and shoulder pads. Like, is this whole helmet thing a little bit skewed when we now are discussing it while we're putting these helmet pads on and all this stuff? Because you seem very sharp as a tack, but I would assume your body's more sore on a daily basis than your head.
Well, let me just start out with saying this. The NFL does allow you to take physicals about every 5 years in a hospital near you. And so recently I went to California, which is one of their designated Hoag Hospital. And they do a series of tests on your whole body. They take pictures. Let me just say this first. I've replaced 5 of my joints. I titanium, 2 shoulders, 2 knees. I had a hip replacement about 2 months ago, and I have another one scheduled in about another 30 days. Ooh. So I'm going to have 6 replaced joints.
Jeez.
Regarding my brain cells, there was a test done over at Hoag Hospital last year.
My mom worked there for years.
Okay.
Newport Beach.
MRI, and they scan your entire brain. There's an area of your brain, which is the very middle of the brain core. It's called the hippocampus. And in the hippocampus controls brain cells that are for short-term memory. It's basically what they function. I can't remember what things happened 5 minutes ago. I can remember things 50 years ago. I only have 1% of my remaining cells left in that hippocampus area of my brain. Now, how does that happen? I believe that it happens because you run into things. And here's what I'm just going to say. My brother-in-law, I love getting married to my wife. She's an unbelievable person. She has, 3 doctors that are brothers in some field. One's in education, 2 other ones in medical, general practitioner, and a brain surgeon who's down in Florida. After every season, I would go down and visit with the brain surgeon, and we would take a whole bunch of tests and things like that. He would check me for different reactions and just dexterity. And it was after like the 8th or 9th year, he didn't see something very good in an MRI that he had. He goes, Doug, I would strongly recommend this is it. That you retire. He says, I think you going through this further, you're just doing more damage. Here's the bottom line in all this. Your brain obviously is inside this skull. This skull, I never knew. I thought I know all this stuff. But you know what? When you got a brain surgeon as a brother-in-law, you know what? You find out because you're talking to him every single day during the season, and you go visit him in the off season, and you see him. He's operating. It was amazing. I mean, just the guy is just what professional? And he just said, Doug, you are impaired in terms of what you've got left. The tank is low. When he said the 1% initially, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm at the top again. I'm the best in the class. I'm in the 1%. He goes, no, Doug, you're on the other end. You're the guy that only has 1% of his cells left. So,
hey, Doug, so let me ask you.
I wouldn't change it for the world because every one of those, I'm sure, cells, you know, there was a huge hit attached to it.
Let me ask you something. Are you so when you see these helmet pads that they're using, because we had Bill Romanowski on the other day. He thinks it's just asinine to use.
Yes.
Because
you know why? Because of what I just told you. Your brain, I'm getting taught this class by my brother-in-law. Your brain is inside, and there's a watery substance in there, and it's floating around. The only reason that those helmets would protect is like lacerations. I broke my nose 3 times. Yeah. People go, why do you got that face mask on? Where it's because I broke my nose 3 times with the other one. You know, the one down here, I thought I'd be cute, great for television. Hey, everybody, I'm Doug Plank, blah, blah. No, I needed that bar coming down like this because you know what? I was ramming into people every single game, averaging like 8 to 10 tackles a game. I mean, how does that happen? You want all the protection you can. As far as your brain, though, it doesn't matter. You could put a big old pillow up there. How fast are you going when you stop, when you hit something? It doesn't even have to be a runner. It could be a blocker. It could be a lineman, the center, a guard, a receiver. Those sudden stops, 20 miles an hour, boom, and you're stopping. I don't care what you wear out of here. It means nothing.
I've been saying it
on television, like, oh, they really care. Look, there's a big pad on there. Oh, and they're making people in practice wear it. In Ohio State, the practices were actually more physical than the game.
Hell yeah.
We're going, oh man, can't wait for Saturday to get here. We're take a day off. And we used to run this end zone with the goal line. We always had a great goal line defense. You know why? We practiced it live every week. And when they got down there inside the 5-yard line, like, come on, guys, we got this down. We know what you're going to run. Look out. You ready to go helmet to helmet? Because that's what we're doing. We're going helmet to helmet. You can't cut anybody's legs because they'll fall into the end zone. You can't hit them too high. You know where you hit them? Boom. Helmet to helmet. That's I can get psyched up like.
Hey, Doug. Here's the thing, though, Doug. Doug,
not practicing it, we never would have done.
Doug, you know, I'm a good friend with Brian Urlacher, and he comes on often.
Love Brian.
And we all play. I was on a recruiting visit with him in New Mexico years ago. He was my trip guide. This is the thing. We all know what we signed up for, though, right? And we're not playing victim now. We accepted that fact, and we know. Nowadays, it's like they want their cake and eat it too. Oh, well, I want a victim mentality. I didn't know what I signed up for. Yeah, you did.
No player said that.
So, yeah, they do. What do you mean?
No player said that. The league itself is trying to continue to grow the brand. So in order to do that, to appease the people who are non-football guys, they have to present this thing as something that's safe. But we all know, as football guys, football isn't safe. To your point, JB, we know what we signed up for. It's like trying to make boxing safe or UFC safe. It's a physical sport. It will never be safe. But it's not the players who are playing the game that's trying to be victims or anything like that. No, it's the entities bigger than them who are the decision makers who are trying to make and present this game as something that's safe. It's still not safe, even with all these rules and the helmet condoms, as you call them, and you can't cut block, you can't do that, and it's still not safe. We're still seeing injuries at an all-time high. It will never be safe.
And that's football, that's rugby, that's hockey, that's NASCAR racing, that's contact, contact collision sports. That's just is what it is, and we loved it when we grew up in it. So I mean, it is what it is. Hey, you got to deal with it. You want to make the money?
Let me ask you this real quick about your Bears today. You know, obviously they got Caleb Williams. They dropped him last year. Things didn't go, as planned during his rookie year. But during this offseason, they got him some O linemen to try to protect him up front. They got a ton of pieces last year to help him on the offensive side. You know, with the running back, receivers, etc. Do you feel like the Bears are headed in the right direction? Like, how do you envision this upcoming season?
I really believe it. I'm glad you asked me that question now instead of last year. I don't think they were. I'm serious. I think there's so much you can tell on just watching a team, watching the sidelines, watching running on the field, running off the field. I mean, with the Bears, I'm telling you, we were on the sideline. We couldn't wait to get out there and start knocking people around. We were running onto the field. We ran off the field. We all learned this I learned this at Ohio State. You're never walking. It's a bad image to fans sitting up in the stands and also to the opposition. When you come running onto the field, oh my gosh, there were some teams that they looked so bad in the three prior games we watched getting ready for this game. They are not, now they're jacked up, especially if they're home. This is their homecoming game or whatever it is we want to call it. This is not the same team we saw on film. So you just start looking at these things like this differently than you are they're just coming on the field, they're going off the field. You can tell an energized team. You can tell a team that's on fire. Getting back to the Chicago Bears, I'm not saying that the last coaching staff was bad, but you know what? You can only look at the games. That's where the rubber meets the road. Is this what you want? Are they winning? Because sometimes you can win ugly, sometimes. But just watching this team, I don't know. They're walking around the sideline. There's no intensity. There's no enthusiasm. This is an enthusiasm game. You can't walk around without any emotion. And you see that week after week after week. I really believe the decision they made going into this year is the best decision they made in a long time. They changed the coaches. They brought in a guy from an organization that was notoriously bad for years and years and years, being the Lions. And all of a sudden, the last few years, I'll tell you what, everything about that team was great. The players on the field, the players off the field, the coaches, they're all fired up. And I'll be honest with you, I loved playing for coaches that were all, I played for Woody Hayes. I mean, Buddy Ryan, Mike Ditka. You had no choice in the matter. No, you were going down and you were going to blast somebody. And that's the way it was going to be. And there was no middle ground. I mean, because when you were in that meeting room the next week and you were watching that film, you had to defend your behavior, your actions. Why did you run around that guy? No, you needed to hit him and destroy him, knock him on the ground. And really, that was the Chicago Bears. When I grew up, I loved watching the Steelers and the Bears. Bears had Dick Butkus. Steelers had a whole bunch of tough defensive guys. They didn't win any games. But you know what? It was just fun watching them. I think that's the beauty of football. Even if your team is bad, if you can still be tough and physical like the Bears were, like back in the 60s, it's still so much fun. I mean, and everybody said, "Oh man, you were a cheap shot artist, Doug. How can I be the least penalized player and be the cheap shot artist of the league?" I just didn't get it. But there's a difference between the pros and college. College, you hit the ground, the game, the ball is over. And every time, the coaches told us every year, you play until you hear a whistle. Now, I know some of the NFL officials, they swallowed their whistles. There was no blowing. You didn't hear the whistle at all. You just kept going and going and going. The guy might be on his way back to the huddle. You didn't hear a whistle, did you?
Hey, Doug, different game, different mental, different makeup, different everything, man. I don't know. It's crazy to watch. Even the guys like Brian and my age, we're just it's a night and day difference in the game and how the kids' mentalities are and how the coaches now either allow it or coach it. We used to say allow it or coach it, right?
You're right.
Woody wasn't allowing shit. He was coaching it all.
No.
And
what I really appreciate about Brian, I'm close to Brian, even though we don't talk that much and everything. We run into airports occasionally to each other. I was the first player on the team, the first rookie that led the team in tackles. Guess who was the second player in the history of the Bears?
Yeah,
Brian. And more, but you can read it. He was everywhere. He was everywhere. He could read the offensive stances, and it was a playbook. Really, if you studied that on those end zone, you can't see it from the sideline. You watch it on the end zone, you can see the splits of the receivers, how they're leaning on their hands, their whole body. And guys actually start getting a facial expression. If they're going to go hit somebody, they're not happy. They're not, I'm going to be going around this end on a sweep. I'm going to run over a linebacker. No, you can tell. He's got the look of oh my gosh, he's staring off into oblivion. This dude is going somewhere. He's getting himself ready for this big collision that's coming.
No doubt.
I used to just laugh. And like I said, Mike Singletary took it from me when I left on the 46 defense. He was always in the middle linebacker position anyway. He just took it to another level. And because Mike would tell them before the play started who was getting the ball and where it was going. And that freaked them out. I mean, sometimes they had to change the play. And, that's what made it so much fun. I'm making hamburgers back in Columbus watching these games laughing. And Buddy Ryan, is still giving the same signals that he had when I was there. The one thing, though, I credit Buddy. Buddy, you had to go through a very extensive film session with him each week if you were the play caller like myself and Mike Singletary, and he would go over all these details. And, he used to give a signal from the sideline. Everybody Mike Singletary and I had to learn all the calls, every formation, every down and distance, every personnel package. Buddy would just go like this, clap his hands and rub it across his chest. That meant automatic front and coverage based on all the formations, all the plays, down and distance. This was worse than a midterm exam. This was like your doctor's degree. Every week you had to make this call, all these linemen in front of you. And, Gary, fortunately, buddied up with me and he called the coverages. But still, I mean, you have a huge responsibility. And that's why 50% of those quarterbacks never finished the game. It wasn't about read and react like in basketball. No. When that ball was snapped, you were off. I mean, you might as well get in a sprinter stance because you're not waiting. And teams couldn't handle it. They literally couldn't handle it. Buddy also wanted you to buy your blocker. What's that mean? If a guy tried blocking you, you destroy him. If I'm coming from the linebacker position and our guard is going to pick me up and I can see it in his eyes and I know what the play is going to be, I'm going to run over this guy. He doesn't know it yet, but I'm only a 205-pound safety. But you know what? He's getting everything I've got 3.5 feet off the ground. And I'm telling you,
man, I miss watching you and these guys play, and I miss the old game, man. I'm gonna tell you like that, Doug.
He's a baby, JB.
Doug, we got to get you back on, man. We could listen to you all day long. The energy you bring in, and man, I can see the player and the coach and everything tied in one, and I love it to death, man. And I can't thank you enough for coming on with us, man. We got to have you on again, and especially as we get into this the NFL season. And when we get to watch your Bears play, we got to be able to have you on during the season sometime.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Honestly, most people that I talk to in interviews, they go, I don't want to hear from you. You're terrible. You hit people late and all that kind of stuff. No, I didn't hit people late. I did the best I could. I always just tried to be and make the team proud on television.
Man, you did your thing, brother. I'll tell you that. It was an honor. It's an honor to have you on, and I love you, man, and I appreciate you. We'll have you on soon.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug.
Sir, have a good one, man. Man, that's you.
Man, legend right there, bro.
He was preaching, man. He was cooking. I could do that all day. All them stories, man. We could have kept going for hours. I mean, the way he got so much knowledge.
He didn't give a fuck. He didn't give a fuck that you were on here.
We could have just kept going for hours, man. He has so much knowledge, and I hope the viewers and the young folks, people like myself and younger, can just truly appreciate.
He didn't give a fuck about you. He didn't give a fuck that you had to leave for work.
Buddy Ryan, Mike Ditka, Mike Singletary, all the legends he played with, man, and be a part of that franchise, Ohio State, the Rose Bowls, everything, man. He could have kept going for hours. I think that was it. I think that was beautiful. So
he didn't give a fuck. He didn't give a fuck about where you have to go.
Shout out to all our guests, man. All of them.
Shout out, man. We got a legend tomorrow, Bobby Valentine tomorrow.
Valentine, okay. Yeah, baseball at the MLB. Yeah.
Great skipper. Great skipper.
Can't
wait to get his take tomorrow. Can't wait to get his take tomorrow. Plus, we got I think Big Matt will join us.
Not McChesney?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, all right.
I gotta ask him something.
What you gonna ask him?
I don't know. I gotta see what's going on. I gotta watch his show. I gotta watch his show today or tomorrow or yesterday's show or something. I gotta go see what's going on. But anyway, whole nother deal. But anyway, can't wait for that. Pound that like, subscribe, become a member on the realest show on planet Earth, man. We keep bringing you that heat. We need more members. Member up, so I can get Smitty up out of so we can get this thing going, man. So shout out. Go watch Unpaved right after this. Shaun Salisbury and I. I'm sure we'll have some great debate. I'm tired, homie.
I know you are. He got a whole another hour. He got to do. Yeah. It's like 4.5 hours straight. And then Matt told me you want to get all the smoke tomorrow.
And then Matt texted me. It's funny. You asked me. You said what's up, but I was like, what'd you run up here? I didn't realize he came up there, but I was like,
no, I was doing some stuff with Paul Pierce.
Then he wanted to do some draft stuff. He wanted to do some draft shit now, and I'm like,
yeah, I told him. We was talking about you. He was like, tell JB, I said, what's up? Y'all go in there. And then next week, Benched podcast. I'm gonna be on Bench for draft day. They probably want to get you on Benched as well. So
I can't go.
And I know Bailey wanted to get you on his show and then get you on his and Matt's show. Bailey got two shows. Bailey do his show and he gets him and Matt's show. He wants you on both.
Not big enough for me.
It's a joke, man. It's a joke.
I'm talking about Bench, Tommy.
Okay, I'll make sure. You said that line later. Like,
they gotta pay me. They gotta pay me.
Well, they paying me, so I'm cool. So
yeah, but I need way more though. Cool. Anyway,
I got a meeting like 12 minutes. I might get fired.
I'm sending you this brand new.
I don't know how to use it, so
I know, but you're gonna learn. I'm gonna send you one of these brand new cameras.
Can it stick to my computer, or I need a tripod?
You gotta have a tripod. A tripod. Oh, like a whitewash of a tripod.
This camera's good, bro. It gets blurry sometimes, but it's perfect.
A tripod.
Don't send me shit, homie. I'm about to go. Y'all stay here. I'm about to head out.
Homie.
I'm gonna let Debbie close out.
I have a tripod. Clip that parent. I gotta hear that motherfucker say tripod again, homie. I gotta really hear that motherfucker say it.
Good, and then just keep like repeating it though. Like keep putting it like back to back, and then make it slow at the end.
And then that other cat, Freddie the trucker or whatever, do that shit.
Kevin the trucker, do that shit for free.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that shit for free, homie.
Hurry up too, homie.
Hey, Doug didn't even know you was on the show, homie, by the way.
No, motherfucker didn't know what was going on. All them hits. He thought he was on the show.
He didn't play victim, though. Anyway, he didn't have CT, by the way. That motherfucker sharp as a tack. By the way, Drew Pearson went in there, used to hit the safety. Sharp as a tack. But he had no CT. None of these motherfuckers. But anyway, hey, we'll be back on tomorrow. Free game Friday.
One brain cell left, homie. I just want to make that clear. So
not one brain cell, homie. One little part about one
short-term memory brain cell.
But that could go from a lot of things, homie. I've already done a lot of studies on this. He said, homie, it ain't no guarantee.
He said he lying. You called him lying.
Like he said, it ain't a guarantee he lost it from playing football.
He said it came from probably running into stuff.
That's what he thinks.
That's what he said.
Probably.
Okay, homie. Anyway, homie, listen, I'm gone. JB can keep speaking.
Hey, you're the guy that says like Tony Gwynn dipped, so he died playing baseball. That's how your mentality is.
That's storyline or nothing. I don't know nothing about.
Anyway, I've had Roy Williams on, Eddie. Roy Williams has my dog.
Y'all have a good one.
You guys stay on for another 15 minutes. Another 15 minutes. Hey, we'll see you tomorrow. Free game Friday. Peace.